Dose of all things FSU, Pistols and Pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
The Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV begins right now. Undefeated edition. You know, guys, we're no strangers to doing the Seminole Headlines program after an undefeated campaign. I mean, this is
not at all.
This is like, we're not nervous.
Been
here before, baby. Been here before.
It's kind of old hat that we
Yeah.
sit around here doing undefeated editions of the Seminole Headlines program. Now, I would say that even though it's not unfamiliar territory for us, we did wonder if we would ever do another undefeated edition of the Seminole Headlines. Back at 3-6 and 5-7, I think or maybe going back to Willie and post Jimbo, there were a lot of moments where we weren't sure that it was in the cards for Seminole Headlines, brought to you by Register Sausage.
Have there been any undefeated Gator headlines?
Never. If there's a show called Gator Headlines, they've never done an undefeated version.
No, they wouldn't even know what this feels like.
No. They're watching right now going, this is how you do it.
Yeah.
This is what you would
Taking
do.
notes.
This is what you would do.
Once we get rid of Billy.
Yeah. Let's do this.
Yeah,
now
get
we
to Coach
fired some
5.
coordinators. Let's go. Soon it's going to turn around for us. Right now, they do an edition of Headlines that's wrought with 7 losses, as it was a year ago and as it was the year before that.
Turn the page to basketball season.
That's 3 straight years of them having to do a Headlines with 7 losses at the end.
Is that true? They've lost? Wow.
Yeah.
One can't even remember what those days were like around here.
Yeah.
Can't even remember it.
Eons ago, guys.
Blanked it out.
Yay, sausage! Register Sausage, celebrating the 12-0 season, as is Seminole Headlines and all of you. Ira?
Ben getting after it with
new?
the promo code this week. In fact, Kim texted me Sunday morning. I wasn't even out of bed yet.
No, you worked late.
I was going to say, weren't you in the house with her?
I got home at 3:45.
Right.
And I got up at like 8:30 or something to a text from her saying, hey, if I get 10 packs of sausage with the promo code, I can have it all delivered for whatever. I was like $70 or something like that. And I was like, let's settle down. I know Ben.
We have connections.
We might be able to get a little sausage.
We've sold some sausage.
Over
I'm sure Ben
the
appreciates that.
You ordering 10.
Yeah.
I mean, it was.
Let's save the
settle
Chappelle some
down.
money.
I've never heard a pitch man talk about ordering the product and then telling his wife when she wants to order the product, settle down.
Ben,
settle down.
Literally, like 3 days earlier, Ben was like, I need to get you guys some sausage.
You
And I was
think,
like,
Ben? You
yes,
think?
you do,
Yeah.
Ben.
I received a text
100%,
Ben, about this sausage.
And I might even get it to you guys if
There
he
you
does
go.
get it to me.
All right.
Possibly.
Like that. Yeah.
But the promo code is still in effect until tomorrow night. The promo code, guys, is Swamp Kings.
There
in all
nicely
caps.
done.
Okay.
I like it. Yeah.
All right.
Swamp Kings, and it's an evergreen, I guess, promo code. And it gets you 30% off, and it is good, again, through Wednesday night at registermeats.com is the website if you want to get your premium smoked pork sausage. And also, as of Friday, it is now available in every – Register Sausage is available in every Publix and Winn-Dixie in the Panhandle.
I thought you were going to say the United States.
That's next.
That's
next
next. We're
year.
taking over,
That's
baby. Let's
for
go.
next season. And so if you're in the Panhandle and you don't see Register Sausage, the premium pork, premium smoked pork sausage in the Panhandle, if you don't see it, ask the meat manager. And I don't know if there's a guarantee or not, but they're saying it'll be there within 10 to 12 days.
Okay.
I would hope
Just
so.
in time for the
I would hope
holidays.
so. Yeah, that makes sense.
Good holiday gift.
Hey, Ira, I think P. Simpson nailed it as he usually does. This is pretty funny. Ira types in, do you know who I am? Into
Yes.
the promo code and gets 100%
Yeah,
off.
right.
That's well done.
I just put my mug shot
You just
in
took
the
a
promo.
picture of yourself.
That
You sit there-
2012 picture that you guys run on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
2012.
Yeah.
2012.
Man, that's
it
from
is 2012.
2003.
It's when I was at the Democrat.
I like that he
I'll
takes
take that as a compliment.
I like that he takes exception
Well,
to the
because other
recency of
people-
that photo.
I've
It's
got
just
other
not
people.
representative.
2012.
You're right. Okay, if that's only 11
A
years
lot
ago.
of gray has come in the last, and a lot of other hairs have gone away.
Yeah, some ran and some turned gray.
Yeah.
Neither did what you want them to do.
Exactly.
They didn't stay and stay black. They went, no, I'm gone. I'm out.
The Just for Men's coming soon.
Oh, buddy, no, you're the gray fox.
Yeah.
If you start, you can't mess with that.
I may text Jimbo and say, Jimbo, I know things aren't going well. Who's your plugs
Who's
guy?
your hair guy?
Who's your
Yeah.
plugs guy?
He's not using them as much as he used to. I've got a great photo from the ACC kickoff the last year. It shows up on my, you know how when you've got pictures that show up on your feed over time. So on the date that we went to Charlotte
It's got
recently.
the thick.
Oh, it's like, it's unbelievable. It's a mane. It's a lion's mane. It was when he was first trying it out.
He's
He
got
must have
that Mike
sat down and
Gundy
said,
hair.
yeah, give me the Matthew McConaughey. I want the Matthew McConaughey, guys. I want a lion's mane.
Oh,
It's
man.
all time good. All right, so I noticed this is true. It's true of Corey. I doubt it's true of Ira, and it's not true of me. It's only that guy.
Okay.
So I'll address you to start the show.
Great.
When is it that you figure out that you should stop believing, no matter how bad it looks, that they're going to win the game in spite of the fact you're sure they're going to lose?
Well, look, I don't think Ira was filled with confidence after the safety. And not only after the safety, but then a bad free kick, and then they have the ball on your side of the field again.
You don't have to be brimming with confidence and belief.
But I think if they score there, the defense had not looked great.
Oh, at 19-0, you're probably going to lose.
And if they score there, you're like, that's a wrap, man. That's a wrap. So that's the safety when it would just look like, okay, man, quarterbacks, you don't take safeties snapping the ball from your own 9-yard line. That shouldn't even ever come into play.
He saw Jordan almost do it.
That's true.
It was also a no-doubter. We were not going to go to the reviews of this one.
Reviewing this one.
I was yelling, review it.
Tate left.
I'm not so sure.
Tate left, no doubt. We don't need to go to a review, boys. So anyway, when that happened and the offense had looked so bad and they get the ball right there and the defense had not looked great in my estimation until that point, I was like, man, this 11-1, awesome. Great year.
Good season.
Good season. You can still go play for a championship next week. And that's what I get.
And guess what?
Get for doubting.
And guess what? They're going to play for said championship. We're going to be there.
Yeah.
Inclement weather, boys. You got your jackets ready to go?
Well, we'll be in the press box.
We got some. Well, I was told today I got to do an on-field report before the game, so I'm going to be down in the trenches.
You're going to look like one of those CBS guys.
You know what I've decided to do?
Our guy Matt Lacer is going to be on the sidelines too for the whole game.
Well, I like
shooting pictures.
I like this. This is something funny. Corey brings it up. When I was told this is what I was doing, I was like, "Oh, that's exciting, good, going to be happy to be there. It'll be fun." And then I thought, man, I need to go out and get one of those old timey suits with the big, the Stetson, not the Stetson. What's it called? Like the Tom Landry hat. What was that hat?
I don't know what it was called.
What is that called?
A fedora?
Maybe a fedora. A fedora. I think you're right. That's correct. I need like an old-timey gray fedora, gray jacket, like a black undershirt, gray pants. Pimp it up.
Yeah, man.
Pimp it up with overcoat.
How often are you going to be on the sidelines in Charlotte?
Let's go.
The best inclement weather ever was when, if you're coming from Florida State, was that Matt Ryan game, the Matty Ice game, when Geno Hayes picked him off and took him back to the house?
Yeah.
It was raining sideways and it was freezing. And our guy Reed O'Neal, who used to do video for Warchant back in the day,
old tattooed up Reed.
Yes, but man, he had so much gear. He had plastic garbage bags over the camera. I was like, dude, just come back in the press box.
Don't worry
about it. It's gonna be okay.
It's the night that my wife went into labor.
16 years ago.
For Bryce Cameron,
16 years ago.
I had run a 5K that day for charity and then watched the end of that game, exhausted, said, can't wait to go to bed, laid down. She's like, we got to get up. My water broke. I told her she was lying.
So you didn't know about Geno Hayes?
I saw the Geno Hayes pick and turned it off and went, okay, we won.
Yeah, let's
go.
Suck
it, Matt Ryan. Yeah. Suck it, number 2. We're going to bed. And then I went to bed, and 5 minutes later, she said, we got to go.
BC was number 2 in the country.
It was, right
in our lifetime.
South Florida had been number 2
South
earlier.
Florida had been
that
number
year
2.
Was nuts.
That's the wacky.
And then this year, you have 4 undefeated Power 5 teams, which is crazy.
It's never happened.
It is crazy. It's bizarre that it's cool. It's a really neat year, but it's
Hey,
crazy.
Did you guys? So first of all, rivalry weekend turned out to be effing awesome. Every game was incredible, right? So you had all these crazy endings: Washington State, and Alabama, Auburn, and on down the list. And I was thinking, that's not going to matter at all next year, and that sucks. It doesn't matter at all.
Well, so right now, the winner of Georgia, Alabama is in the playoff, probably, especially Georgia.
Well, Alabama's not.
Alabama, I don't think is. But next year, it wouldn't matter. They would be.
Doesn't matter.
Even if they lost this game, I think they would still be in.
Right. Well, think about
Florida
Michigan and Ohio
Louisville.
State. Yeah. Who cares? You're both in. That sucks.
It does, but it's also probably the fairest way to determine a champion. Like one loss late in the year shouldn't just immediately, in this modern era of college football, should immediately eliminate your chances.
I think you're right. If you are certainly going to mandate that we're moving to a place where it's okay if you have a top 20 strength of schedule, top 10 strength of schedule, because you play LSU, Georgia, and Ohio State in a given year.
Yeah. And
you lose 2 of the 3, and then you win the other 10, you can still get in. Like if you want to encourage teams to stop scheduling,
right,
then there you go. That's
and
fine.
To some degree, seeding will matter. You'll
still want to be the top 4. You want to buy or you want to be at home. So all the seeding will matter, but you're still in.
Right.
And look at it this year. Like it would be right now, it'd be like LSU, Penn State, Ole Miss, Louisville, if they could beat Florida State, would have a claim. Like, that's what we're heading towards next year. This is the last year of this.
Yeah. No, and what a year to go 12-0.
Yeah, exactly right.
This week, one week only, you need to stop calling it Louisville.
Louisville.
No, I'm not saying Louisville.
It's Louisville.
Like
You
a
can do it.
Lagavulin?
You can do it.
Okay,
Lagavulin. I can say
Lagavulin?
Louisville. You can say Louisville just like you can Lagavulin.
What'd you think? We can't say that.
What about Bunahaven?
What are you going to say about, what'd you have to say about our boys singing the other night?
I didn't hear the singing.
I mean, this guy. I mean, he's not even a part of the
I mean,
the
I think,
channel. He's
I
not
think
even
Wait a
part
minute,
of
I
Warchant.
watched the post-game rap. I did not see any singing. Did you? Is it the very, very end?
I mean, it's the last minute.
I missed the last minute.
Wow, who
Once
tunes
I-
out in the last minute?
You guys
Yeah.
were getting repetitive. I got tired of it.
Sure.
No, listen, I had heard all the takes. I thought they were
apparently
great.
not.
By the way,
you
it was
didn't hear
only-
all the takes.
Listen, first of all, it was only a 17-minute post-game rap. It was one of your shorter versions. So I should have been able to withstand all of it, but somehow I got to the 14-minute mark. I was like, I've
it's
heard
crazy.
what I need to
That's
hear.
Crazy.
So now I'm going to, hey, listen, you gave me something to get excited about. I'll go home
after the show. Good,
Watch
man.
after the show.
Wouldn't get too excited.
It's not that good?
I mean, it's
not
good.
bad.
Yeah.
It's better than y'all would have done.
It did. I
I
did.
don't know that that's true.
Probably. Yeah, you're probably right.
I watched it with the kids on Sunday. 'Cause
Oh,
Molly was home,
there's
so
a
we all
wake up.
got
Yeah,
around to
that's
watch
what
it.
most families do, Jeff. Not
and-
yours. You didn't even know I did it.
Molly appreciated the vibrato. You broke out a little vibrato. in
Yeah.
there.
So, and the thing is, I feel bad. I had to read the lyrics to Seminole Wind. I'm not usually, you would think I would know it, but
No,
the
I don't
lyrics are
expect you to
kind of
know it.
odd.
It's a terrible song.
There we
Oh,
go.
here we go. Let's
Can
do
we
this.
hear it?
Can we hear
Can
this?
we?
I think we can hear it. My man's getting it ready.
Blow,
And so I feel sorry for I'm bad about that.
It's in slow
Let's go.
motion.
Here we go.
blow, blow, Seminole
He's got it up.
wind, blow like you're never gonna blow again. I'm calling to you.
Yeah, you want me to
like
just
a
do it on the
long
fly?
lost
No,
friend,
I think
but
I can
know
remember the
wanna
lyrics.
see this.
who
Look at the way he's
you
making
are.
love to the camera.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
blow,
yeah,
it's
this-
occasionally
blow
looking
from
down,
the
though, 'cause
Okeechobee,
and then the lyrics
all
get
the
really
way
bizarre.
up
A
to
young Alan Jackson.
Micanopy. Blow
I don't know,
across the home of the
probably close to his
Seminole.
age.
The
Oh,
and then,
alligators.
once
are-
he gets it ready, we'll come back and do this. He's just making sure it's queued up.
But
We'll do it.
but
He'll come back.
yeah, so I took a screen grab of it and I was going to tweet it, just basically saying something like, I don't know how this is my career. But I figured I probably don't need to open myself. I don't know if we need to share that with more of the non.
No, exactly. And we didn't do a good job of letting people know why I was doing it.
Yeah, I'm still
We
not
get
really
like
sure why you're doing it.
25,000 people watching that thing, and most of them have no idea that I made a promise back in July or August that if they were 12-0,
And
I
you
would.
frequently
I would
do
sing
not
Seminole Wind.
uphold promises.
Well, right,
and
I don't
so you
remember
could have
them.
Just
And I feel like there has to be, if they win the national championship this year, we all should be doing something on the
Hey,
field.
we can do it as a round.
The best part
Yeah,
was
do it as a round.
before we started, Aslan says, Corey, listen, man, he's trying to help him out.
Yeah.
He's like, you can like mouth the words, lip sync it.
Yeah,
And then I'll put
in-
the music in afterwards. And
Yeah.
Corey's like, oh, no.
No.
The world needs to
Are you
hear me
kidding
sing.
I'm singing.
Well,
I'm
we're
not-
all
I'm
going to
not
hear you
Milli
sing now.
Vanilli.
I'm going to turn your mic off. I'm going
Okay.
to turn all of our mics off so we can hear very clearly this version from Corey. Here we
Enjoy.
Go. Here we go.
No, I'm just gonna. No. So blow. Let me have the mic. Can I have the mic?
Yes.
So
Yeah, well-
blow, blow, Seminole wind, blow like you're never gonna blow again. I'm calling to you like a long lost friend, but I know who you are. And
Little flat.
blow, blow from the Okeechobee, all the way up to Micanopy. Blow across the home of the Seminole, the alligators.
That's going to be a
Little
no
pitchy,
for me, dog.
Little
It's
bit-
going to be a
little
no
pitchy.
for me. It's fine.
We need one of those auto-tune devices.
It's
for the
crazy
next
that me and
road
Garth both sang on that field.
trip.
We both sang on that
Man,
field.
Man.
Hey, look, it's not terrible, though. Like, it's not terrible.
Hey, it's what we needed. It's what
It
we
is.
needed.
It is what we
It's
needed.
what we needed. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. Warchant TV continues in a moment.
222-7722. AC and electric is what we do. Parker Services. Comfort just a call away.
Invest in a Peak Performance membership and you'll buy peace of mind in knowing that you're extending the life of your system and probably saving money on your power bill too. The program includes comprehensive tune-ups that keep your system running at its maximum efficiency. And Peak Performance members get many benefits, including priority service. Members jump to the front of the line when their comfort system fails, and a 15% discount on all parts. The Peak Performance membership pays for itself over and over again. Call today and have peace of mind. And if it's time for a new home comfort system, Parker sells only the best, including Mitsubishi electric heating and air conditioning.
Parker Services, comfort's just a call away.
Florida license number CMC 050334.
Ethics Rocks. Join us on December 6th for an unforgettable evening of music and fun in support of the Florida Ethics Institute at the first annual Ethics Rocks benefit concert at Goodwood Museum and Gardens.
The Ethics Rocks benefit concert is all about combining our love for music with our commitment to advancing ethics through education. So grab your friends, put on your dancing shoes, and come on down to enjoy some incredible live performances from the Nitro Groundshakers and our headliner, the Rockets.
All funds raised will be used to support FEI's educational mission. VIP and general admission tickets are on sale now at floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks. That's floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks.
Don't miss all the fun. It's the annual Ethics Rocks benefit concert December 6th at the Goodwood Museum and Gardens, featuring some of Tallahassee's favorite local bands, the Nitro Groundshakers and the Rockets.
Get your tickets today at floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks.
I'm Greg Tisch, and I want to share one of my favorite TCC alumni stories. It's been almost 30 years since Charlie Ward led the 1993 FSU football team to its first national championship, won the Heisman, and became the first Heisman winner to play in the NBA. But did you know, like thousands of students before and since, he started his college career at TCC? We are proud to call Charlie Ward one of our own. Today, he serves on the TCC District Board of Trustees, so you might even get to see him around campus.
TCC thanks our community for 58 years of support. We look forward to moving into the future together.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu. Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chungla, as I call it.
The pan con lechon, Jeff.
Is that what is the pork?
The pan con lechon, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chungla. It's delicious. All these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of that nobody would know and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
By the way, boys, the good news is this has been a year of all kinds of wonderful moments. This is also one. So we had Corey just now with the song. This was from a few weeks ago, if you would, sir. Cue this bad boy up.
Oh, no.
Which everybody wanted in the chat, so here we go.
This is for you, Mario. This is for you, Jimbo. This is for you, TVD. This is for you, UM. This is for you, Texas A&M fans. The last of the Don Julio.
My man.
Ooh. Boy.
Man.
Ooh.
So I don't know if y'all saw it, but
no more. No mas. We're throwing in the towel.
When we do the live Wake Up Warchant shows, when people are very kind enough to donate us money, Aslan will always play the air horn.
Yeah.
Well, now he's playing that
No,
soundbite.
he's not.
Oh, yeah, he is. when it's
That's not a product of Wake Up Warchant.
So,
That's a product
hey,
of
we're all
Sunday
in the,
Smash.
we're all in the we're all under the same
It's the
umbrella.
family. Everybody's free to use each other's audio here. It's one big happy.
Yeah, we had
neighborhood
I had the
family.
hour number 2 earlier in the year too
So
for beating Clemson.
we
It's been a fun year, guys. It's been a fun year. We'll come up with something. We'll do something because I mean, look, the odds of them winning a national championship they're better than most.
Yeah,
but they're still
not good.
not great considering
the situation.
The situation. But if they were to win the national championship, it deserves. We'll do some. We'll do a pyramid. How about like a shirtless pyramid? The three of us.
We'll do Jello shots off of your 6-pack.
There it is.
Okay.
I want no part of that.
Oh, what?
I just wanted to see him get excited. I just wanted to see his
Two
joy
very different
at the thought.
reactions. He's excited.
I don't think I've ever been more excited.
And then I was repulsed. We were immediately done.
And Irish just somewhere in the middle.
He's just like, oh, watch these two. Yeah, no.
Like a science experiment.
Oh,
So what if we throw some of this in here?
So did the expectations change for either one of y'all after the Florida game? Like what we all want them to win this game. It would be awesome if they won this game. It'd be awesome if they got into the playoff. But
that expectation did not change.
But but it's like I feel like almost no matter what happens the rest of the way, you going 12-0 and winning that game in the Swamp makes this season a resounding success.
Yeah. Said it on the air yesterday. Yeah. Brought it up. I thought that no matter what happens from here, you have accomplished what you needed to do, which is to take another huge step forward. You win the state again. You're undefeated. Undefeated regular seasons don't just happen. It's a hard thing to accomplish. And then in addition to that, you're about to sign a top 4 class. You probably maybe even a top 2 class. So we'll see where it ends. But
the portal opens up when you're one of these teams.
It does. They're not going to – I'm just going to tell you, this is not going to be a huge portal year. Like, I think what they needed to do was get to a place where you could utilize the portal, win a bunch of games, and start really raking in these top-tier classes.
I get that, but I also would say this, man. They need to not get too carried away because I get it, man. It's awesome that they're in it for all these high school kids, but if you're losing 4th or 5th year guys,
yes,
you may need some more 3rd, 4th, and 5th year guys to come in to fill some of those holes.
I don't disagree.
Right.
I think at some point, if you're going to start fresh with a new quarterback, whether that's going to be Tate winning the job or not, let's say it's Brock Glenn, we got
to talk about him too.
You can understand if they go 9-3 next year. First of all, it's a 12-team playoff. You might still make the playoff, 10-2, something like that. Okay. And I think the long-term sustainability of excellence is born more from elite upon elite upon elite recruiting classes. You can always use the portal, and you should, but they just use the portal a ton.
No, I agree with that.
And I think they're going to have to find a balance, and I'm pretty sure they're going to find a balance.
But I personally think the balance is still a year away. I don't look at this team right now. And again, I love this team, this particular team, and we'll talk much more about this particular team. But as you forecast ahead, I don't look at that defense and see dudes to see dudes that are absolute guaranteed all ACC type players are all Florida State starters. Like, Who's the starting linebackers next year?
Well, they need 2 linebackers for sure
out of the portal because you can't. You're not going to have a freshman linebacker.
I didn't say 0.
Oh yeah, and then I also think defensive line
very selective.
Well, defensive line is going to be interesting because I think there's some guys on that line that people assume are going to go because they're good.
Well, I think the top 2 targets to retain are Farmer and Peyton. And
I think you could be able to do that.
I think you will do that.
Yeah. And you'd like maybe for Daryl Jackson to play some snaps for you. Yeah. But you're not the depth that you have. The strength of your team probably, I think, is your defensive line. Like that's probably the strength of your team.
But you may come out of this losing Verse and Fisk, which is
you will lose Verse and Fisk.
Verse and Fisk and love it.
Well, I'm saying you may come out and love it. But you may come out of it with those only being the losses.
Yeah, but those are huge
ones. They are
losses. And you don't have guys. So I guess when you're looking at this roster, and that's what they're doing right now, they got to prepare for a championship game. We talked to Norvell about this today. But you also got to prepare for the future. And kids are in the portal, and you can start, I guess, signing them on Monday.
Well, I think it's an interesting they'll reveal what they think they need. We'll see that, right?
Yes.
Because my thought is that, and again, my guess is that they'll sign somewhere in the neighborhood out of the portal. between 3 and 5, maybe 3 and 6 players.
I think it's going to be a lot more. Than
I
3.
think it'd be.
I'm
Like
not
double,
saying 10, but I bet you.
I think it will be 10.
I don't know, but I think it's.
I don't think it's going to be 10.
I think it could be 6 to 7, somewhere in that ballpark.
Well, 6 is not a lot more than 5.
But 3 sounds like you're not doing anything.
3 to 5, and that's based on who you can get. So you may not get every one of the guys you want.
Right.
They may want. I was saying they would maybe want 5. You think they want 6? That's fine. I mean, we're not in that big a disagreement. But I don't. It's not going to be 10. So, you know, at this point, the point is though, if you have a class that's going to be this elite, those kids. We hope they signed with Florida State because they love Florida State, Mike Norvell. They also realize there's a chance for real NIL value here by signing with Florida State because they've seen the battles and do the work. If you're getting the number 1 safety and a number 1 tight end and a top, those kids are going to want some guarantees, or else they're going to the other schools.
Well, they're also
like
going to want to play, but at the same time, good luck getting to 9 wins when you're starting a bunch of true. That's not the recipe. Your true freshmen
if you're
don't
starting
start.
Farmer and you're starting Peyton and you're starting Daryl Jackson and there aren't a bunch of freshmen. You've got players that played a ton. Azari Thomas is going to be your starting corner next year. He's been awesome.
Yeah,
they've got safeties. They got plenty of players that fit the bill. I'm just telling you, you shouldn't look at, okay, they went 12-0, now they got to go 13-0 next year and just it's what you want. But I think the path to sustainable excellence is not to constantly go 10 to 15 in the portal.
No, and
but
that's what my point was. I think you stacked you had a good class last year. This looks like a great class.
This is a great class.
But this is not a class that is going to win you a ton of games in 2024 just because they're too young.
Yeah.
But they will in 2025. That's why this year feels like a stopgap. Just do it one more time, not to the extent you've done it. You've got to lessen it a little. But I don't think you're in the spot where you're Georgia and you only need 2 or 3.
You're not Georgia yet.
But I think there are holes to fill because you want to keep this going. You don't want to take a step back to 6-6.
Well, they won't. I don't.
Well, no, I mean, I don't think they
they're
will
gonna
either.
Go 6-6.
But I mean, look, man, who knows? You have no idea what the quarterback play will be, and you have no idea who the defensive line will be. So we don't know yet, and you just want to make sure you're still in the conversation-ish for 1 year until it really takes off with a
12-team playoff. Florida State will be in the conversation. I don't think they're going to go from 12-0, 13-0 to potentially 6-6. I think you're looking at an upside of 10-2, 11-1, or 9-3.
Like I hope.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know. There are no guarantees.
Right.
That's true. I can't tell you definitively that they're going to go undefeated or not. I will just tell you that if your starters, and these are big ifs, if your starters are Peyton on one side, and then we'll figure out the other side. I mean, obviously, what's his name comes back, probably the South Carolina kid. Then you have a defensive line with Josh Farmer and Daryl Jackson. You got guys there. It's not the end of the world. There aren't.
No, and you have some depth pieces too. I mean, I really like. I mean, Malcolm Ray's played well this year.
Yes.
I like Daniel Lyons, Tafasi. They've got some guys coming as well. So
yeah,
it's not like
going
it's
to be dominant.
Yeah. And I don't think anybody's saying like this year was a unique year because you did have Jordan Travis as a senior.
Yeah.
And you felt like, okay, this is a chance to make this run.
And they did.
Next year, you may not have a quarterback that you feel like you can make that run. So maybe it's okay to just try to keep building for the future. So I get what you're saying, but I also think that you may get in a situation. The reality is, man, I don't know if they know exactly who all is going to be leaving. And
right.
Not just for the NFL, but there are guys that are here that may look to leave.
Well,
so,
and that first goal, I think, of every like reasonable collective is to identify the stars of your team or the nuts and bolts of your team, the really good players on your team, and figure out which ones that you can retain. So you start with that. Like, can I retain Josh Farmer, or is he hell-bent on leaving or going to the NFL or whatever? Can we get Patrick Payton to understand that he's a year away from being perhaps a first-round draft pick? Let's get him to come back. And you incentivize that, like they did with Verse, like they did with Jordan Travis. I mean, those guys got paid a lot of money. So roster retention requires a lot of money. Top 3 classes, in a way, even though you have to be careful how you phrase it, require a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
How much can you go outside of that and say, okay, well, what is sustainable? I mean, I think you desperately have to sign a linebacker, maybe 2, right? I think you probably at this point need an offensive lineman or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now we're at 4. How many more are you bringing in? And I don't know how much they can afford to do that if you're going to, roster retention and that class.
But what will be interesting is I don't think that they were in the market for a receiver when Keon Coleman showed up.
Yeah.
So
there might be there's somebody else out there.
Yeah, if there are a couple of guys out there
that
that you may not be budgeting for that, but wait a minute, we can get what?
Yeah, if a guy falls in your lap
Right.
and he's a difference maker, you got to do that. And I think that they're always prepared for that. I would say that if all of a sudden, this is a bad example, but if like Drake May was not going to the NFL and was like, I hate North Carolina. I love what they're doing at Florida State. Oh, you do you? Okay, well, then maybe you have the conversation. Yeah, all of a sudden. But that's an unexpected expense and an unexpected gift that falls into your lap that you might decide to go outside the realm of your budget for, if you will. It is going to be fascinating. It's an interesting time, and it's the best time to be subscribed to warchant.com.
Yeah.
So there you go. Let me ask you this. So if Florida State wins this game against Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville.
Do you care at all what happens in the playoff?
I'll care when they take the field because I can't stand to watch my team go out on the field and lose, but no. Hypothetically, no,
Well,
I don't.
Don't you think it'll matter to what it looks like? Like if Tate looks like he did against Louisville, if he looks like against Louisville like he did against Florida, well, then you're probably not going to win a national championship.
Correct.
You
probably
can't.
already
Your
know
offense
that,
can't
Corey.
be
I
like
think you already
that.
know that.
Yeah. If he doesn't
right,
play better,
then
they
it's
probably
like,
won't win.
Okay,
anyway.
go play Georgia. It's cool that you got to the Sugar Bowl, but you're not winning. But if he goes out and plays well, that buoys you a little bit.
Right.
You're like, okay, maybe this can work. You're not going to be Jordan Travis, but this can be a good offense again with Tate running it. And I think that would give you a little more hope.
Oh, without question.
But I think that
but if it looks like it did, if you win this game 21-20 or 21-17, the defense comes up big late. You only have 300 yards of offense.
You know you're not going to win the game.
You're not winning a championship.
But it's not all about Tate because we weren't sure 4 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago whether or not this team could beat.
I was being critical. I was being critical of them 3 weeks ago.
So,
I'm of the same mindset I was 4 weeks ago. I remember coming out of the
I felt like you had
game
more of a
thinking,
puncher's fighter's chance with Jordan.
Of course, with Jordan, you always have a chance, but my mind was kind of well set because of the line of scrimmage.
But the thing what I like about this next game and going forward is Florida game, man, I just felt like there was the weight of the world on that team because it's their first game without Jordan. They all have the finish for 13 shirts on. I mean, there was this weight of let's not disappoint Jordan that he got hurt and it killed our season. And now we lose to these guys in the swamp. So there was a heaviness to that game that I don't think is going to be there Saturday.
No,
and I
don't
definitely don't think it's going to be there.
I wonder though, I hope you're right. And there's just a chance you're right for sure. I don't know, though, man.
It's basically a pick 'em game, man.
No, I know. In terms of what the experts think, I got you. But it is still a championship game. So
there's a lot on it.
There's a lot going on.
But it's not a disaster if you don't.
No.
You got your 12-0. You didn't let Florida wreck your.
Nobody's laughing at you if you lose it. I agree with that. In that sense, there's less pressure. But you suited up this year to win a championship.
Go win it. Absolutely.
Win it. You're here now. I mean, you're going to want to win it. There's pressure there, but there's pressure for both sides at that point. I mean,
we were at practice this morning, and they were getting after it. I mean, it was kind of honestly, I bet the emotion that the coaches were trying to convey to the players, and I think the players took it to the practice field was, man, it's a new season now. That's in the background. I don't care how you feel physically, whatever. This is a new season. Let's get after it. I thought there was a lot of energy at practice today, and there's some guys that are kind of working their way back. Alex Atkins talked about it yesterday at the press conference that Robert Scott has basically been ready to play. They feel like, and I know you're skeptical. We'll see what happens on Saturday.
I've been scheduled for 7 weeks,
but he has been practicing for a little while now. And then, Bless Harris as well. So, there are guys that we haven't seen a lot of that I think are getting healthier because I think they've been hoping that they would get to this moment to where they could bring them back. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think they can go into this game, and I think Tate especially can go into this game because I don't think they're going to have the same game plan. I really felt like in that game plan, it was, especially once they got bad field position or in long down distances, it was like, Tate, do not kill us.
The game started so stupidly.
Everything about
second and 6,
Trey
and then it's
Benson's
third
run.
and 17.
Yeah.
And then you don't get the ball again for 35 minutes
Correct.
of real time.
It was very frustrating.
That's what was it didn't have the feel of a normal game. That's what I want to see. It's just a normal rhythm of a college football game.
You get a possession, even if you punt, you're going to get it back in 2 minutes.
But your every play is 3rd and 11 or 3rd and 17, or you're at your own 5. And then finally they got into a little bit of a rhythm, and he looked fine. Not great, but fine.
Yeah, the 90-yard drive was massive.
No,
There's
huge.
a lot of stones. When you're playing poorly and you're trailing and you're in a hostile environment and you haven't played well, you're not seeing it quickly, and you are holding the ball too long, and you can't get the running game going. To go down and put that drive together, I thought as both teams jogged off the field, Florida had to have their heart sink. their stomach just sink.
Oh, and did you see in the Florida State guys were smiling?
Smiling.
They were on top of the world.
I told my son, because he's young enough not to kind of realize how these things go. I'm like, Florida's effed. They just dominated a half.
Yeah.
They could have put this game away and didn't. It's 12-7.
Yeah.
They're probably thinking we're screwed, even if they're not willing to admit it. They're kind of screwed. You should have been up. You should have killed them when you had a chance.
Yeah.
That could have been 19-0. Good night, Irene. Thanks for playing. But they didn't. They didn't. And Florida State did what they did all year long, which was overcome playing poorly for stretches and then putting it all together. And that's because, as we've all said in various forums, they're tough as hell.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most likable team
Yeah.
that we've had in a long time. Florida State's tough. Like, you can't kill them. Clemson should have killed them.
Yeah.
They're dominating the game.
Yeah, I think somebody mentioned it today. One of the reporters that asking Patrick Payton a question, and I didn't think about this. It makes sense that I think there's 4 games they've been down by double digits.
Yeah.
That's.
And 2 of them were at Clemson and at Florida. Like, how many teams in the last decade, maybe Florida's not the greatest example, but especially at Clemson, get down by 2 scores in Death Valley and win the game?
Well,
I bet the answer is 1.
Yeah, and as it turns out, Florida State's the only team to beat Clemson this year at Clemson. So, that
and
turns
the
out
only
to be a
team
better
to do
looking
anything
win.
against Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment. Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
The Tallahassee Police Department launched a new webpage, provides a one-stop destination for individuals interested in joining TPD's team of law enforcement professionals. Tailored to prospective officers, the webpage serves as an invaluable resource for those considering a career with TPD. It offers a wealth of information, guidance, and resources to streamline the application process, including detailed information on eligibility requirements and qualifications, quick and easy access to all forms and documents needed to apply, information on training, career development, and benefits, frequently asked questions, and contact details for further inquiries, as well as a quick link to TPD's application. The Tallahassee Police Department invites anyone interested in a fulfilling career in law enforcement to visit jointallypd.com. This user-friendly, informative platform is the first step for applicants toward becoming a valued member of TPD's dedicated team, proudly serving the community. TPD is striving to reach net zero vacancies for sworn officers. This is Rachel Lene with the Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A freeze warning begins at 1 a.m. early tomorrow morning and continues until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Lots of sunshine this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 57. Northerly winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows dip down to about 31. Daytime highs approaching 57 tomorrow. Sunny skies and calm. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 56.
Orthopedic pain and injury deserves effective treatment options now, so you feel better fast. Whether you have joint pain that won't subside or an urgent orthopedic injury, we are the specialists to get you back on your feet. And there's only one thing better than fast care: expert care. We believe you deserve both. TOC. Only experts. Learn more at teamtoc.com.
Barry knows cool. He's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows cool. You can put him to the test.
Your heating and air conditioning system doesn't check with you before it takes a break. That's why we're always ready to help. Any day, anytime, anywhere. And with our annual service agreement, there are no overtime charges. Ever. At Verno Heating and Air, we will always be there for you.
Barry knows heating and air conditioning.
License CAC 1816186.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
It's fun to have these kinds of conversations after wins, what the team's going to be, what they're going to need, what the seasons look like, what their chances are in the playoff potentially, all while being 12-0, all while Harkening back and thinking about the team we get to cover and that we've covered with high expectations from the start, and then those expectations being fulfilled. I do wonder, I think all of us are in a similar place right now with this game against Louisville, as you guys were saying. Like, I'd be disappointed if they didn't win the game, but I do think the season's already stamped as a huge success.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's a part of me, I got asked this by my brother who is indifferent, who did not go to Florida or Florida State or Miami or anywhere in the state. And he was like, well, listen, if I told you that they were going to be the 4th seed and play Georgia and lose by 50, would you rather them lose this game? And I said, no, I'd rather them win the ACC championship and go lose that game.
Because it's New Orleans, New Year's Eve. It'll be a good time
also
either way.
Just making the, I don't
be one of those 4 teams.
And I don't look at TCU and think, oh, you losers, because they got crushed by Georgia. I think, man, that's a miracle season for TCU. And they beat Michigan. They went to the playoff. Are you kidding? TCU?
If you had Jordan, if you had your whole team and went there and lost by 50, that would suck.
It would suck.
But if you go up there knowing, man, I mean, that's not the knock on Tate. It's just he wasn't your starting quarterback.
No, he's not Jordan Travis. Very few are.
No.
So there's that. Now, it's funny how this works. You go, like you guys are talking about expectations, and it will be hard to ratchet any of that back going into next year, even though logically, I think most in this fan base realize that if, let's say you start Brock Glenn at quarterback, well, what's a reasonable expectation for a redshirt freshman to do in his first year as a starter after losing some of the guys that we're talking about losing, Jared Verse, for example.
And then, Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman and Jaheim Bell.
Yeah, like what do you – so what I would tell you is that I don't think it's an unmitigated disaster. I think that Hakeem Williams is going to be a star. I believe that if you can keep Vendravius Jacobs straight, his talent.
Destin Hill.
They've got dudes now, and they're bringing in some guys. So, and you've got some talent at tight end. You'll still have it. Morlock is going to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, so you've got some talent there. I think that it'll be a good season, but I don't know. It's what would be the expectation? 9-3, 10-2. That wouldn't be disappointing, would it?
Oh, in my opinion, absolutely not. If you're 9-3 next year, you're in the playoff hunt, which is all you're trying to do as these guys get older, as this program, because it's an odd thing for you when Florida State did this last time a decade ago. When
the next year they were supposed to do it again.
But also you saw it coming in the sense that 2012 they're preseason top 10, 2011 they were preseason. You knew the recruiting rankings and you knew these guys were good and you knew they were getting older and pretty soon it was all going to be fruitful on the field. This has been this has been 1-2 year rentals. And now they're a part of the program and I don't dismiss it.
There's a mixture.
But it's, most of the starters are guys that didn't start here that didn't, matriculate here where you're like, man, in 2 years, that guy's going to be awesome.
But a lot of them are 4-year transfers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not all 1 year rentals. It's a lot of these guys. Jarian Jones, Fabian Levitt, and Jordan Travis. And a lot of these guys have been here. They didn't start their college career here, but they've been here for a long time.
I guess I'm just mainly thinking about the offense, with Johnny and Keon and Jaheim and
Trey
the
Benson.
offensive line. Like those guys are 2 year guys, 1 or 2 year guys. But again, the point being, we have no idea if Armella is going to be good. We think he will be, or any of these freshmen. They're just not proven because you haven't gotten to see them develop. And this will be, when Florida State did it the last time, you saw it coming. These huge recruiting classes they manifested themselves in a 29-game winning streak. Well, you've had like a decent recruiting class, a good recruiting class, and now you have a great recruiting class. But that takes time. That's not a 2024.
Yes, and that's why the stopgap measures have been utilized. I just don't think you can sustain that to the degree that they have.
No, you can't. You absolutely can't. But again, I personally, I think they need another year of doing that. But who am I? I'm not Derek Ray. I'm not the director of player personnel.
Even if you think that, I'm like what I want to hear from them, and we'll know from their actions, is what they think they need. Who they decide, what position groups they decide to go and fill through the portal tells you what they think about what they have on the roster.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think it becomes challenging again, like
it's really challenging.
Especially once because you don't know who all is going to reach out to you. So that part.
Oh, and this is a destination now, like you said.
Imagine what it must be like the phone now compared to 2021. I mean, come on, man. They will have their pick of some really, really good players all over the field. That's when it comes down to, okay, we can bring this kid in from Purdue.
Yeah.
Is he better than this kid on our roster? Does he help us win next year better? Does this senior from Purdue help us win next year better than our rising sophomore?
It's a good problem to have.
It's a great problem
to your
to have.
Example, and I found this out. I can't say names. I had a guy call me from South Florida, just put it that way, and he says to me, "Oh, I ran in, and you guys would know this name, to this kid's father at the grocery store, and he knows I'm a Nole. We live by each other."
DJ Daniels?
No, it's not. And he said, "Yeah, I think my son." It's a high-profile player, is looking to transfer. He's unhappy in his situation. And this kid's a stud. And he basically said, yeah, Florida State's the top of his list. Don't know if they need this position or not. Mm-hmm. And so as we went on with the conversation, he said, well, that's the kind of thing that the father said is happening now at Florida State, that all of these kids that were really good players from the state that left the state because either Florida was down, Florida State was down, Miami's down, they were all down, went somewhere, had some success, overall not happy with the experience. Some of those kids went on to be stars in their own right, are like, oh, well, Florida State's got it going on. Those are the kids now like, I want to come home. Is there a spot for me? What a cool position if you're Mike and staff to be in and say, yeah, we just don't need you. I'm sorry. You're a great player, but we don't.
But also,
yes, come on.
You at some point, you do have to pick a side of the road because you don't want to just keep doing this and portaling over the kids that you're developing.
What are you saying to the kids?
Because then how are you recruiting the high school kids? Because their coaches and dads will be like, you just sign these guys and you keep portaling over them where they don't get a chance to play. So that's the delicate balance of being a college football program in 2023. But they've handled it really well so far. 18 in a row, boys. 18 games in a row.
It's cool to think about not having lost a game in over a year. It's cool to think about
13 months. Do you even remember the last loss, Ira? I have a hard
October
time.
of 2022, buddy.
What is it? Clemson? Was that the last?
Was
the
that
last
the third
loss?
of the three straight?
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
If you take away that
it was
3-game,
Wake, then NC State, then Clemson.
If you take away that 3-game losing streak, they've won 22 in a row.
How that works?
Yeah.
Can you go back a little further and take away the 7 losses?
Yeah.
You take away the 9 losses?
Yeah, the 3 and 6. I mean, so I watched, somehow it popped up on my algorithm, the YouTube feed, our Warchant rap from Willie's last game, the Miami game.
That was a toughie.
I didn't remember anything about it. It was 27-10 was the final. 62,000 people in the stands.
Yes.
We made mention of that. Hornibrook was the starter, got sacked 9 times.
Boy, we really don't pay proper tribute to the Hornibrook era.
I'm pretty sure I was of the opinion they would not fire him.
You did say, I don't think it'll.
We
thought we were absolutely having the conversation, but we're like, are they going to do it now? They probably won't do it now, but they got to go win at Boston just to get bowl eligible. And they fired him the next day.
What's funny is,
that wasn't.
What's funny is we had just done the wrap, and I went back up to the press box, and I got a text from a friend of ours, somebody that watches the show, who said he saw a conversation between the president, maybe general counsel, and 1 or 2 other people. And so that was it was like a very serious conversation.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
we
just said on the thing that they're probably not going to fire
that
him.
Ended up being, we had to live through 2020 and we had to live through the first month of 2021, but that set up this resurgence, that moment, that game set up where we are now. Because obviously this wouldn't be happening with Willie Taggart and Mike Norvell is, I don't think so. I guess I shouldn't go out and say that with certainty, but man, Mike Norvell has been, it's like I talked about early in the year. We've almost we've flown past it. Like we don't talk about it enough. What he's done is incredible. What this program has become is incredible because where it was just 2 years ago.
All right. So does he win Coach of the Year?
Oh no, they'll give it to Elko. Elko won 7 games.
Jeff Brom's
they would give it to Brom over Mike as the only other candidate. And I don't know that that's the right answer, but I'm saying that's the only other candidate. Yeah. There is no other coach in the conference that they can give it to. It's either Brom or it is Mike Norvell.
What do y'all vote on that?
And I mentioned in the column last Sunday, and I mentioned in the column the last, I don't know, did I bring it up to you? The last FSU coach to win Coach of the Year in the ACC?
Was Bowden?
97. They've won 9 ACC titles.
I was thinking, what's special about
there
the 97
must not have been.
season?
Duke must not have done anything that year.
Nobody else.
Or Wake Forest must not have done anything.
North Carolina was like top 5 in the country that year. You would have thought Mac Brown would have won it. It's crazy. And then 98, 99, they go undefeated and he didn't win it. Or 99, they go undefeated and didn't win it.
What who did win it the last 2 years in the SEC though was Kirby Smart. Somehow he wins Coach of the Year.
They rewarded his greatness.
And the year before that, Saban won it. The year before that, what's his name won it at LSU.
Yeah,
when he had an NFL roster.
When you have these great undefeated seasons,
for whatever reason,
the writers there reward it.
In the ACC media only values teams that do more with less. That's the only way you can win that award. And it's also in basketball. And Corey and I used to write about this back when Jimbo wouldn't get it.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Krzyzewski rarely won it. Roy Williams rarely won it. It's just what this conference does.
Well, Jeff thinks Roy Williams should have been fired.
Oh, roll it out there,
Roy.
Oh, roll it out there. Those last 6 years, buddy. Yeah, I would. I think Mike's going to win it.
Wow.
I think Mike's going to win it. I think it's hard to argue against Mike winning it.
Yeah. And
I mean, if you think of where this program was 2 years ago.
That's exactly right. And this isn't the Florida State of 2000 or 99.
And Jeff Brom inherited a pretty good team. Like they were not. Louisville had been pretty good. They were like
bullish,
8-4, 8-5, something like that. It wasn't a reclamation project. And you were able to bring in 30 transfers or whatever he brought in.
And I predict at some point Brom will win it. I think he's a very good coach,
right.
Very good coach, and he'll win it at some point there. But it's not the year. I think that Mike Norvell will win it this year. We recognized going into the ACC meetings that Florida State was going to be good. And we talked about how they had added key pieces. I had seen Keon Coleman play and was very excited about what he could be. And we kind of just looked at this roster and thought they're going to have a really good season. But it's interesting to me because a lot of the rest of the ACC media, I'm not saying all, but a lot of them did not see the justification for the high hopes of Florida State fans. In fact, they
all pointed to the 3 losses.
That's right.
Those were your 3 best teams you played, and you lost all 3.
And then the last 2 games you won, but your defense looked horrible.
Right. And so all of them came back. They were very suspect of these high expectations. They were resentful in some cases of the high expectations. And so it was kind of fun because I remember at the time being bullish that they were going to have a good season. Our preseason predictions, I went 11-1. Missed it. They went 12-0. But we all thought they'd have a good season.
I think I said 11-1 too.
So
with the loss at Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I
nailed that one.
That's what I'm saying.
It was close.
Guys,
close.
August predictions,
I knew they were going
to
to have only 3 receivers available,
right.
So I thought there was a chance.
No, but I'm saying Pittsburgh's always tough. They're always good, and then the year they're not.
Yeah,
like it's just terrible. We never know what these seasons are going to turn out like.
I had us losing to Clemson. Almost happened. Glad I was wrong.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the point would be, though, that I thought they'd be really good. A lot of us did, and a lot of the ACC media didn't. That has to work in Mike's favor, right? I mean,
you would like to think, man,
or will they resent
it? Changes, and it wasn't just the ACC media. I remember listening to a national podcast, the one with Wetzel and Dellinger and the Louisville guy.
It's fine.
What's the guy from Louisville? 40.
Yeah, okay.
And they were all ripping FSU at the time when Peter Collins made his comments and Michael Alford made his comments.
They were scoffing.
And they were like, when's the last time FSU even won anything? They never even win the ACC. And it's like, well, dude, do you see what's going to happen this season?
Yeah.
They're about to win the ACC.
Yeah. And I would argue too, well, we don't have to argue. They went undefeated. They haven't been healthy in 6 weeks. It's ridiculous. Right. The barrage of injuries on one side of the ball is insane.
What's awesome about it, though, I was talking to Aslan about it on Wake Up, is like, man, the defense is the reason they're undefeated. Like, the defense is the one that has played – like, the offense has been good. Of course, it had high expectations that met them for the most part. But the defense has exceeded expectations and been one of the best units in the country. That's been awesome to watch. They are a good defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's exciting. Hopefully they'll be really, really good again this Saturday. Seminole Headlines, hour number 2 forthcoming. We'll get to your questions momentarily.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
The kids are back in school, and that means more homework, more projects, more research, and more screen time for the kids. These days, you can't get much done without using a phone, tablet, or computer, so you'll need all your devices working properly. Macklemore Systems is here to help. Not only can you get repairs, upgrades, and replacements, but you can also get expert advice, guidance, and consultations on how to maximize the use of your Apple gear. The Trapper Keepers are gone, and in this digital world, Macklemore Systems are your digital experts. Online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
Man, I just got a text from my wife. She wants me to cook dinner and then snuggle on the couch next to a roaring fire.
So what's the problem, Dave? You already got the new grill, and you're a great cook.
I got one major problem. We don't have a fireplace.
Man, that's an easy fix. Just call Hearth and Patio. They got a lot of fireplaces that can help you for your romantic evenings. Wood, gas, electric, and a ton of different sizes, man. Call Hearth and Patio today, 850-727-4282, or visit them online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Hearth and Patio. Ignite that spark in your life.
Now go call Seminole Glass. They'll get on the road and get it done fast.
Hey Tallahassee, Sarah here. This El Nino heat is brutal. When it's hot, glass is soft and more prone to cracks. No need to call your insurance. Go to SeminoleAutoGlass.com. Upload your policy card and request an appointment.
Hey, Sarah, what note does a B make when it hits your windshield? A B flat.
Jimmy. Better call Seminole.
So everybody knows, Eddie, that you are a spectacular cook. Of course they know that. If they go into Bumpa's, the food is always good. I mean, everything on the menu. Everything at Gordo's is delicious. I always, of course, get the bungalow chunglo, as I call it.
The bungalow chung, Jeff?
Is that what is the pork?
The bungalow chung, Jeff.
Okay, the bungalow chunglo. It's delicious. All of these things, all the items, everything you do, a master cook. But, sir, I would ask you, what is a skill that you possess that you're particularly proud of, that nobody would know, and that you could share with us here?
Growing hair, Jeff. Growing hair.
You're an asshole. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee. The latest betting odds and live movements from Vegas. This is your action update. Now here are your latest lines from our guys in the desert.
Florida State Seminoles are 30-1 to win the national title. First, they need to win to the ACC championship game to get into the college football playoff. Seminoles are the 2.5-point favorite with a total of 49 at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday night hosting the Cincinnati Bengals at Everbank Stadium. The Jaguars bet up from a 7.5 to an 8.5-point favorite. The total bet down from 41 to 38.5. That's on Monday night. The NHL, it's the Tampa Bay Lightning, $1.35 road favorite at Arizona plus 114, 6.5 over the total. Get your free VSiN subscription right now at VSIN.com. For more sports betting news and information, go to VSIN.com. Mike Son at Real Talk 93.3.
Amazon's got the best deals on Black Friday. Oh, the best deals are on Cyber Monday. Friday comes first when it comes to saving. Monday's worth of great what you've been craving. Deals so good it'll feel like stealing. Real cool message, could you make it less appealing? What's with the beef? You can get that too. Why don't you call us? What's triggering you? Which Saturday you're shopping on? You'll save a bunch at Amazon. Black Friday, Cyber Monday too.
Oh, not this song again.
Hello, Sarah. Real quick, if you had to choose, would you listen to elevator music all day or deal with payroll compliance?
Oh, payroll compliance for sure.
Wait, really?
Staying compliant is so much easier with Gusto. Gusto automatically calculates my taxes and files with all the right agencies for me.
That actually sounds great.
Hold up. Can Gusto help my small business with compliance too?
Of course they can.
Choose payroll compliance without the ups and downs. Visit gusto.com/radio to sign up for free.
Excellence defines us, so we'll never let orthopedic pain and injury define you. TOC is a physician-led team of fellowship-trained specialists, providing the highest level of orthopedic care in the region. With 12 centers of excellence and TOC Now urgent care clinics, our patients access affordable expert care fast. TOC, only experts. Schedule an appointment at teamtoc.com.
This is Jamie McClenny with Trek Financial in Tallahassee. While domestic equities closed down for the third consecutive month at the end of October, valuations remain near historic highs based on most historic metrics. Managing downside risk in your portfolio is one of the biggest challenges you will face in retirement. While you can't control performance, you can control the risk in your portfolio. Markets are going to do what markets are going to do, but a clearly defined risk management protocol can help to mitigate large drawdowns in your retirement nest egg. Valuations remain near historic highs based on most historic metrics. If you're concerned where this might be headed, give me a call at 850-900-5200 and schedule a time for a risk-focused portfolio review. Or you can visit us on our website at trektlh.com. That's trektlh.com.
Make Jamie your first call for that second opinion. Investment advisory services offered through Trek Financial, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Many orthodontists in Tallahassee can straighten a smile, but at Birch Orthodontics, they're dedicated to providing the finest care possible. The experienced and friendly staff is trained in all of the latest techniques. So whether you need standard treatment like braces or Invisalign, or you have a more complicated case requiring extra attention, Birch Orthodontics is here for you. Set up your free consultation today by visiting birchorthodontics.com, BURCH orthodontics.com, or call 850-877-1692. At Birch Orthodontics, they create beautiful smiles that last a lifetime.
It's time for Seminole Headlines, featuring Warchant.com's Jeff Cameron, managing editor Ira Schofel, and senior writer Corey Clark. Your weekly dose of all things FSU, pistols and pies starts right now. Here's Jeff Cameron.
Hour number 2, Seminole Headlines, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV, going to be with you. And our thanks to Dr. Birch Orthodontics. Excuse me, Dr. Birch. I was so excited to talk about her and her wonderful operation there at Birch Orthodontics. We're coming to the end, boys. The last visit for Clark Cameron, they were told, he was told, not much longer.
Wow.
The braces are coming off before high school. And I'm like,
And the
there
journey
it
is over.
That's glorious. All of a sudden, the pocketbook frees up to gamble and do whatever else.
Buy sausage.
Yeah, do whatever we want.
Dr. Birch might drop us if we don't have kids to send to her anymore.
I don't think so. I think she loves us. I believe it's real.
BirchOrthodontics.com is the website, and we, as you've heard from every week, that we can't recommend them highly enough. If you have anybody in your family, kids need braces, anybody needs any orthodontic work, things come up later in life. We've talked about it before. She doesn't discriminate based on age. If you have any orthodontic needs, really any needs. If you have any needs,
What if you're
just stop by.
97? What if you're 97, you're like, I've been thinking about these teeth.
What can you do with these?
What can you do with these? I don't know how much longer I
Put
got.
them in a glass of water.
I lost them in the 90s, but can we do something?
What do you got here?
Yeah, I think she'd figure it out. There's no case. I've never heard of a case Dr. Birch couldn't
So you
solve.
turn it down, yeah?
So I believe she would get it done. BirchOrthodox.com is the website, and free consultations, payment plans, great customer service, great techniques, all the latest techniques. Go see Dr. Birch and tell him Corey sent you.
Yeah.
And it's free.
It's free.
It's free if you do. It's amazing.
First 6 consultations are free, and the first, what, 6
consultation?
months?
That's a lot of consultations.
It's a lot. Well, look,
we
we're
didn't
talking
figure
about
it out
90-year-olds.
the first 5.
This
Come
is
back
for
tomorrow.
the 90-year-old, 90 and over crowd.
I used to, and my mom would get mad at me, and I'm sure Dr. Birch would roll her eyes. When somewhere around like 12 or 13, I said, can we just knock out all my teeth if they're going to fall out eventually anyhow? Put the fake ones in and let's ride.
I kind of agree with that sentiment.
Like, let's go. I don't want to deal with this.
Yeah. Amen.
Did you?
Yeah.
We found a note. We were cleaning out something. We found a note that one of our kids left. I think it might have been one of the kids left for the Tooth Fairy. And it said,
Tooth Fairy notes are good.
It was explaining the whole situation. I need some help. Can you leave me some money?
I need some
By the way,
help.
I'm sorry my dad snores. She was apologizing for my
we're all
snoring.
sorry for that. We've all had to live through that.
I need some help. Sounds like she's been kidnapped.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, listen, I know you're here to drop off the dollar,
but
I could really use some
you
real.
can get anybody into this house.
Can we get the authorities to check out our living conditions here? That is good stuff. All right, here we go, boys. We've got questions. With everything that happened before the game and what they endured during the game, where does this rank in y'all's favorite UF wins or wins over UF? That's from Clint.
This is for you guys.
It's
top 10, top
ish.
15.
Yeah. I guess
top 10 wins over Florida.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Well, there aren't that many to choose
what I was
from.
saying. Like that doesn't.
It's
There's
better
a
than
lot.
11. It's better than 17.
It's not better than 93. It's not better. I mean,
Well,
it's
right,
not
but I'm
better-
talking about, you won there, which hasn't happened with great regularity
Right.
in my lifetime. So that counts.
maybe
Winning
our
without-
favorite wins there. So
Right.
the Ricks, PK
Yeah, that
Sam,
was. Yeah, I like that one more.
that one because that's a
Caught.
dagger.
Yeah, because it is a
Nick Hubert
dagger.
representing the fans perfectly in the moment. Caught.
The 99 one, the 13 one, those had great
Yeah,
stakes and Benjamin doing what he did. But
Yeah.
I'd say,
93 win was incredible.
Yeah.
Word to done.
yeah,
All time.
You know what was cool about this win? I wrote about it also, and I know Corey talked about it.
87
about
too. 87 sneaky good win.
that's a good
because
one.
that streak had been going on for a long. Yeah,
I was at that game. Yeah.
But also, like when I started becoming a football fan, from 81 to 87, they didn't beat Florida.
It was
So
annoying,
again,
yeah.
I don't have a ton of
Right. That's why I was
Florida
kind of
memories.
thinking 10 seemed broad. But
I
what
thought
was-
you thought it was too.
no,
it would
what
have been
was cool about that though, like that win was, no Jordan, but Jordan's there. And then it was neat the atmosphere with the fans. I mean, there's so many FSU fans
Yeah,
there.
man.
And the Chiefs were nuts.
The marching Chiefs dominated the game.
It was crazy. Listening, I watched the game at home. I did the pregame show with Tom, then I sat on my couch and I watched the game. Through that television, you'd have thought it was a home game.
Right.
The
Well, no, a
State
home
took
game, you don't hear the Chiefs.
Well, that's lamenting. Yes, I agree.
But
That was amazing.
And the press box is in that corner across from them. So man, they were. I mean,
they killed it.
They were.
Yeah.
And every time
nonstop.
Florida tried to get something going with
Oh,
their
yeah.
own stuff, just
Even-
bam!
even the Tom
Dominated
Petty.
it. Stephanie was
Dude, my
like
man
3 rows.
David having them crank it up right there during Petty.
Yeah,
David's
that
a
was
legend.
incredible. That was
incredible.
That was
yeah.
incredible because they just took the villain role.
It was
like,
awesome.
this is a cool little tradition
Yeah,
y'all have.
you like
Get
that?
some of
Get
this.
you some of this. You're about to lose, and you know it.
I mean, part of me is like, how would you feel if it was the other way
No,
around?
you wouldn't like it, but that's the rivalry.
That's
so
all right.
it's
That
fun
was
that they did it.
I was so proud of him in that moment.
Yeah.
'Cause that's more vindictive. That's me.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, louder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Gutsy performance by Maurice Smith to keep playing with all of his injuries. But are you worried about their apparent inability to develop another center? Yeah, I am, Brandon. It's straight up, I am. I've been a little frustrated by some of this.
They don't even have like the backup center is Stickle, who's
was
a walk-on.
tight end originally.
No, this is a fair criticism. They've got to do better.
They brought in a couple guys to
That didn't
try to get in
make
that role, and it just really hasn't worked out for one reason. One
One of them was
or
the
another.
injury from the Wisconsin kid. The other,
Right. Well,
yeah.
even with portal guys, but even with high school guys that they've signed there.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see. Like Kayshawn Sapp is a young guy. He practices there. We'll see what happens with him. But yeah, they haven't. It just hasn't happened.
Gotta get that remedied. B-Rad writes, fellas, great year from the team and you guys. I believe in our whole team, including Tate. Okay.
Good. Good to know.
That sounds like a joke we'd make to each other. Like it's an insult to one of us. I hope these games he's playing in really show him develop through each one. That will show me Tokars and Norvell are really developing the quarterback's incremental improvement. Yay, sausage. I think Tony Tokars is a rising star in the coaching community. I think he's done an amazing job with Jordan Travis. Just start with Jordan Travis.
Yeah.
I understand a lot of people had a hand in that, but Jordan Travis has really developed a lot since Tokars took over as quarterback coach. He deserves a ton of credit. So I'm already there is my point, B-Rad, but I understand what you're saying.
But this is a big week for all of them, but especially Tate. Like,
it's a big week for Tate. And
It's a
I hope he
big
doesn't
week.
think about it that way, but there's no way not to. Got to go play loose, go play free, go play well.
and show the improvement from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, now
as
that
a
you've got
starter.
a game under your belt and you're getting reps with the one all week, here we go.
But I also think the assignment is different.
It
You know,
is, but
the
you're-
assignment in that game, the race was to 20
Yeah.
against Florida with that quarterback.
Mhm.
The race against Louisville is going to be, 28, 30.
Yeah,
You ever get like, this is more me as a fan, so maybe you do, Corey, I don't know, but you ever get insanely mad when a kid does something that they're really not capable of doing or sustaining? That kid for Florida made 2 of the
Oh, my
best NFL
gosh.
throws
The throw
I
down
have
the
ever
sideline
seen in my
with
life.
rolling to his right with Lundy in
To a
coverage. It's
running
like, what is
back.
that?
Across his body, through another human being, on the hands.
The kid catches it without,
I was like, what?
In
What
the
is
first
this?
the first third down throw he had across the
That's
field.
an NFL throw that very few NFL quarterbacks make.
I was like,
and
what-
it's on
those
the numbers.
on those 2 throws, I mean, like, it's like one of those videos where like a guy will show up at a basketball court to play pickup,
Yeah.
and he looks like a scrub,
And he's an NBA
and then all of a
player.
sudden, and then every scene of looks at everybody's faces,
You're
like
like-
that was what I imagined, like Adam Fuller's face was like, what?
What is this? Is this kid awesome?
That was
Did
my
we-
face. I
Yeah.
was like, they've been starting the wrong quarterback all year.
He's
Look
incredible.
at this dude. Man, I'm alive. This guy's an NFL first rounder.
Turns out that
He was
Phil's
not.
goal.
No.
Oh, I was so mad. I resented him.
He
I was
almost
like,
completed.
How dare you make that
he-
throw? You don't have that ability.
I think the first third down, or maybe the second third down, they didn't convert was when Dent hits him as he's throwing it,
Yeah.
and the kid still catches it
Right.
right at the first down mark.
Yeah,
Almost.
like,
And it's like, well,
almost
it's going to be one of these nights.
Yep.
But it wasn't.
It reminded me of that kid from Virginia who did that to Florida State that year.
Marquise
Higgins.
Throwing it on the side of his ass. And he's
guys are dragging 2 feet.
Yeah. It's like all NFL Lynn Swan catches and everything. Like, what is this nonsense? You like that reference, Corey? There you go.
Good one.
Kids are like, he's breaking out the Lynn Swan. And you know which catch I'm talking about, too.
Yes, of course.
It's the Cowboys. 2-part question for you guys today. This is from Don. With a healthier Harris and Scott, do you feel we see a little better push on the offensive line? Well, hell, if they ever play, Don, if they ever play, will FSU ever spread out?
Got something for Georgia.
Yeah, it's frustrating. To answer Don's question, Don, if they get healthy, it'd be great because they are your 2 best offensive linemen. That's all there is to it.
That sure would be something. We were talking about it at practice. Like, wouldn't that be something if you're Louisville and you've got a pretty good pass rush and Florida's offensive lines looked a little suspect, and then they tried out two new tackles.
And they're the best 2 tackles that they have.
Wait a minute, this isn't what we saw.
Yeah. Hell of a season, guys. That's from Wilson. I started listening in 2017, and man, what a ride it's been. Thank you, boys, for getting us through all the bad days, football and otherwise. Buy or sell. This 23 squad won't be the best team Mike fields while he's at FSU. Good question.
I don't remember which is the right.
Well, no, you buying that or you selling that?
Am I buying it as in
this won't be their best?
Yeah, this won't be his best. I am buying that. I think he'll have a better team.
I do too, because he'll have a deeper team, and I think he'll have a higher ceiling of talent. Like they're a good team.
Yes,
but they are not like what Georgia is, and I think that's where they're headed.
Yeah, everything's in place for them to get to that level. So I would buy it too. And thanks, Wilson. Appreciate it, man. You're the best.
Let me get this off of mute. Just kidding. Multi-layered question here.
Oh, taking shots.
Yeah.
Shots.
Do you think we should run more from a 13 or 22 personnel? Morlock is great, but is it time to put more blocking tight ends? Here's the problem, guys. And I don't want to be overly
Jackson West played a good bit in that game, by the way.
He did play a good bit in that game. But when we talk about some things that have gone wrong or that we got wrong or both coming out of camp, man, first of all, I was stunned that Morlock beat out Marquiston Douglas. I personally thought Marquiston Douglas had a better camp. Secondly, Marquiston Douglas had a great year last year, and so we expected him to take another big step forward this year. I don't know what the problem is, but Marquiston Douglas has taken a massive step backwards. He's not effective when he's in there. He doesn't block nearly as well as he has blocked in the past, and he's not nearly as effective as an offensive weapon, as a receiver, as he was before. This is also frustrating. They've had a lot of things kind of go wrong, and it's a testament again to how tough they are. They're still 12-0.
Yeah, I wonder if, when we saw the heights and weights, I think coming out of the summer, maybe at some point, we're like, Keeson looks a little heavier than, based on what he was before. You just wonder how he felt about them bringing in Jaheim and Morlock. Like that might have affected his.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just.
Well, you hope the answer
they're
is
clearly not thrilled with.
Let me go eat some.
Well,
more.
I don't know.
Like, that's
I mean,
weird answer.
But if you're not feeling good about
I get it.
your chance,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
you're like, now I'm third string. I had a
Yeah.
chance to be the starter. Right. Now you bring in these 2 guys.
It's a valid theory, though. It really is, because he does look bigger, but see, the thing is that if that were the case, he should be a much better blocker. So I think it's a loss of focus in addition.
What would bother me about that, if that were the case, and we don't know, Norvell plays 5 tight ends a season. Like Preston Daniel and Jackson West are playing too. Like
it's just
you're
a theory.
Get on the field. I'm saying, but like I think it's a valid theory. But it's like, man, you're going to get on the field even if you're not playing 50 snaps. You're going to have an important role on this team because all you tight ends play. And it's just a bummer that he has not had the season that we probably expected him to have.
R.A. Andrews writes, gentlemen, imagine 2014 or 2016 teams with the 2023 attitude and effort. Also,
the 2014 team?
The 2014 team would have done what they did, gone undefeated, but in a more dominant fashion.
And they would have been the 1 seed and not the
and they would have won the
seed.
National title. Yes. That's correct. Also, how did the Florida player have a Triple H spit take ready on command?
That was incredible.
I don't understand it.
Unreal spit.
I don't understand
because you'd have to work that up, right?
See, I had a buddy. You would be able to answer this, Jeff. I had a buddy that said those mouthpieces can get really saliva-y.
That's true.
They can.
And so he probably just sucked it off, and then all the spit that was in it.
It's a good theory.
But it's a smooth move to do it that quickly.
Yeah,
like, we got to give the guy some respect for how the volume.
He had it dialed up. Yeah, he knows. I'm going to spray this kid. I'm going to spray.
It was like
the
Great Kabuki in wrestling or something.
Was well done.
The green spray.
The missing link. Yeah. I would tell you that that's how people get hurt, though. Like that, you reserve a knee shot. If that kid's back next year when they come here,
I was going to say though, like,
take him out.
Sure, but like
that is
like the Romanowski spit. We've all seen that. He spits. It's like a projectile. It's one
stream,
little
the
spit.
stream.
I feel like
Which is more disrespectful.
I think that's more disrespectful.
Really?
The Romanowski.
You don't think the spray is disrespectful?
I think the spray is almost. It's
all
like
of
it just he couldn't control his mouth. He couldn't control the liquids in his mouth.
You like the full spray.
Yeah,
you don't like the.
Yeah, exactly. Own it at least.
Right.
Own it. It doesn't seem so specific if you're spraying everything in your
I
path.
think it was specific.
Yeah, maybe.
It was very specific.
He almost got the ref.
I mean, I'm glad they threw him out, but that can't.
I can't.
happen.
I
love
can't
Fowler.
believe-
Did you hear Fowler?
No.
He's like spitting.
That's very.
And then they show
specific.
he's like, oh my, yeah. Of course. I mean, I've never seen a better spit take.
That was unreal.
And I can't believe Keandre Jones didn't just run full speed like a ram and just spear him.
Yeah. No.
Like, how do you just walk away from that?
Discipline.
Yeah,
It's
it's
discipline. I would have been thrown out of the game, and most people would have. I mean, that's the number one
Are you
offense. It can't happen.
kidding me?
It can't happen. You can punch my neck.
Yeah.
You could do a lot of things, and I'll be like,
I'd
it's just
say
football.
you'd rather be spit on than hitting. Yeah.
From a pain tolerance standpoint, that's true. But the more disrespectful thing is the spit.
I don't know, man.
The spit is
pretty
like you spit
disrespectful.
on
It
something.
absolutely is very disrespectful.
it's
I would
unreal.
just say hitting somebody in the nuts
No.
is more disrespectful.
It's awful, but it happens all the time. Chris Paul does it once a week. I'm just telling you.
He does
I'm
it. He's very disrespectful.
Screw that.
I'd rather
guy.
him spit on
As
me.
long as you don't spit on me, Chris.
Yeah.
Well away.
Yeah.
I'm
Here you go.
fine.
These are bags, baby. Let it fly. Let it fly. Tyler writes, Jeff, email. Who has the higher ceiling right now going into next year, Florida or Miami? I'll hang up and listen. Thanks for all you guys do. Very specific to me, but I want the boys to answer this too. The higher ceiling is Miami.
Yeah,
Miami played
it's
hard.
hard to know because you don't know who's going to be on the
a
Miami
bunch
team.
of dudes.
Well, they are.
They
but
already had 4 in the portal. The safeties are going pro.
Who's their quarterback?
The quarterback's
But
gone.
what does Florida have going
No,
for
exactly
them
right.
right
That's
now?
what I'm
They
saying.
just went 5-7.
It's hard to know, but I mean, it's like 7-5 versus 5-7 when both teams are like Miami's losing a lot of the dudes that even got them to 7
are, but I
wins.
think they've got that Bain kid's a stud. They've got
He
some
might not be
talent
there.
on well, let's
Maybe.
hope you're
By
right.
the way, so that's what I'm talking about. If Bain puts his name in the portal,
Oh, well, we need an end. So that's one of the 4 or 5 guys that you
well,
go
you need it.
after.
I thought he was a tackle, by the way. I didn't know he was an end.
He's a big
Look,
end.
He's a
He's a big
hybrid. Can I call
He's
him a hybrid?
freak is what he
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
Yeah.
You take him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tackle.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll guarantee you if he wants to come to Florida State, they'll take him.
Well, let's make it
I'm gonna
happen,
guarantee
gang.
it. I'm going to guarantee
Guys,
it.
if you start donating right now, we'll get on the Ruben Bain train.
Bill writes, gentlemen, since Tate seems to have something bad happen before he starts to play well, interception Louisville last year, safety Saturday, should Mike just have him throw the ball at Brownlee on the very first play of the game?
Yeah, old times. Just like old times.
No
on the
guarantees that
practice
Brownlee will
field.
catch it. But
Yeah, that's true.
You could do it. I saw Brownlee make a big play in the game.
He
on
did.
Saturday.
Man, people are going to look at that game and think that Louisville gave up a ton of points and Kentucky went up and down the field. And Kentucky played well on offense, but they had a kick return for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And Leary made a couple of incredible touchdowns.
Throws he hasn't made all year.
Yeah, man, you've just felt bad. Like Louisville outplayed Kentucky and lost that game.
I
which
will
was a
say
bummer.
this. They got outscored in the second half 24-7.
That hurts.
Kind of
And they've given up like 30 or something to Virginia, Miami, and now
got to be better than that. Levi says, after a 12-0 regular season, what position group or player exceeded, met, or fell short of your expectations? I think I just got done saying that Marquiston fell way short of my expectations.
But he was going to be the second or third string tight end.
I think he was going to be the second, but I thought he would have been an integral part to what they did with that position group, and he hasn't.
I don't think anybody fell
I think
short.
you could. Oh, it fell short.
The offensive line by a lot.
Oh, well,
Come on, man.
sure. But you're right. But again, it's hard to say. Not woefully short when you're 12-0 and you have a top 10 scoring offense. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
I think you know that
They have not been what we thought they would be.
Very short of expectations.
The exceeding, I think Akeem Dent and the linebackers, I think, are probably where I'd start.
When Akeem at the end of the year here has been something, I'm happy for him because he's not always been a guy that everybody was in love with, and he really proved his worth here at the end of the year. I mean, obviously, when he's on the field, they're a lot better than when Kevin Noles is on the field. Let's put it that way. So he's done a really good job. I'm trying to think of him.
Jarian Jones is better.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him, too. Good call. So the secondary.
Yeah.
Exceeded
they've all
expectations.
been. Azaria's been very good.
Azaria's been good. Yeah.
Cypress has not
okay.
been great,
Yeah,
but he's been okay. But the other guys have been good. I mean, that's a strong secondary, man. They don't. I mean,
that secondary and that defensive line
and
the linebackers play well. I mean, that's that defense. it's not a mystery. They're good. I mean, they have a good defense.
Top 10 or 11 in the country.
So that's I guess that's my thing going into this game is, I mean, I think that they're going to play well. I mean, Louisville's a better offense than a lot of the teams that they've been playing, but this defense is good. I think it's going to be a really good matchup.
That quarterback isn't special.
He's not electric.
No.
But he can make how about
He's
this
not
though?
terrible, yeah.
He might be the second best quarterback you faced this year.
Well, you haven't. I mean, Jaden obviously was the best.
Yeah.
And
Who's second best?
You haven't faced a ton of great quarterback play, and
You
that's
haven't
something they
faced
benefited
any.
from.
Like you haven't literally.
Well, you faced a bunch of backups.
But who also has faced a lot of great? I mean, has Georgia played a lot of great quarterbacks?
No, they played the Dart kid, who's good, not great.
Jackson
they played.
Dart.
The
There's just
Missouri
not a lot
kid.
of good quarterbacks.
No, yeah, but I mean, Florida State has gotten a break, and they haven't played
definitely
any
have.
good ones. Like Missouri has a pretty good quarterback. Like they haven't even played pretty good quarterbacks. Klubnik is probably the third best quarterback
Klubnik's
they
a
faced.
weird player, man. You know, Clemson just won again
When they
without
didn't score an
scoring
offensive touchdown. It's
But he wasn't terrible against Florida State.
was
He actually
very
played
good.
pretty well.
that was his best game, probably.
Yeah. No,
Castellanos is probably the best guy they faced from in that game.
Yeah.
He played better than anybody else has against them. Literally,
Here you go. Speaking of
Castellanos
quarterbacks,
has played better than anybody else on the schedule did.
Greg writes, since the ACC season is over, did Jordan do enough to win Offensive Player of the Year?
You know, because he'd won. They'd already gone 8-0 with him at quarterback.
I voted for him.
I mean, it would be him or May, I guess.
But May's got like 11 picks or something.
Yeah, and they also lost.
And they lost a bunch of
a
games.
lot. Yeah.
So
And
we'll see. I have a feeling it's going to go to May, but I voted for Jordan.
I actually don't think it should go to May.
I don't either.
That Virginia game, what are we doing?
Who's even else is in the running?
And his passing yards, I don't know. His passing yards aren't that much
May
better.
is obviously, if we're just talking about the NFL career.
Yeah, but we're
We're not.
But
right?
who else is even in the running besides Jordan?
I mean, there's
Travis
a couple of
and Drake May?
receivers with big. The NC State receiver, I think, says big numbers. I mean, there's
The
a couple.
Virginia
of,
guy does too.
Yeah,
but they're
Virginia guy.
playing-
But yeah,
NC State had a good year.
but no, I
think Jordan can win it.
hopefully.
Yeah, if
should.
who cares they didn't play against North
Yeah.
Alabama and Florida? Yeah.
Timmy wants to know, how does Norvell make sure we don't end up like TCU this season, next season? So
Well, yeah, that was kind of the discussion we've been having. I think
Yeah.
they have a better roster.
They have a better roster. TCU lost like 70% of their yardage from the team that went to the playoffs last year. Like they were a mess, and they lost a ton on defense too.
You say that, there's a very, very good chance this team will be losing that much too.
I don't think that TCU's in the same position for us.
No, I know, but I'm saying when you look at the roster next year, there's a very good chance you're losing 90% of
Here's
your
the
yardage.
good news. You're bringing in an elite class. You've got some of these veterans that are coming back for you, by the way. For example, now hopefully he'll be able to play, but I'm pretty sure Maurice Smith's coming back for you at center. You've got some linemen that are coming back. You have, I believe they're going to be able to secure Farmer and Peyton. You do so now all of a sudden you have a talented receiving core coming back.
Yeah, but
a lot of
nobody
young
that's
kids,
done it in the game.
But
That's
luckily you don't begin the season with LSU.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Georgia Tech and Ireland. Okay, it'll be fun. Got to play well. Georgia Tech's playing hard.
Yeah.
But that schedule's hard. And you have Notre Dame next year, but you get Clemson here, you get Florida here. I don't think Miami's very good. These are doable. You can go 9-3 in a rebuild, in a semi-rebuild.
It's just going to be going into this year. Again, the discussion was like, okay, they're probably not going to go undefeated. Pick your one loss.
Yeah,
Like who are they going to lose to? Because you don't expect they're going to go undefeated. And this next year's going to be different. I mean, there's going to be a lot of games that could go either way.
And I mean, so much of it, this isn't very insightful. It's going to come down to how good the quarterback plays. Who's the quarterback and how good they are. If you have an average quarterback, you're going to have an average offense.
You went into the season this year with the star, the bona fide star of the team played the most important position, quarterback. Most years, you actually don't have that luxury. So you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I do trust that they can figure it out. He just won't be the focal point of the offense.
But it would be nice if the quarterback was playing with Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman.
Sure, but
not
he's going to
with
play
guys
with a five-star like Akeem Williams. But Javis Jacobs is a talent. We know Destin Hill runs like the wind blows. I mean,
we get it, but again, I'm just saying, going into next year, it's going to be a bunch of guys that have not done much.
We agree.
Yeah.
But we also agree they're not talentless.
No,
I
sure.
mean, I think a lot
but
of
there
people
could be
like,
growing
I'll take my
pains.
chances with Akeem Dent and Destin Hill. I think I'll be all right.
You're not rolling
Hakeem
out there
Williams.
the guys they
Like, what did I say? Dent? Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
the guys they rolled out there.
No,
Yeah,
I understand.
ago.
Understood. But I mean, there will be growing pains.
Yeah.
You're not ready made like Keon.
You're in the ACC. Got a lot of winnable games just by being
Maybe
smart
not.
and tough. Well,
Maybe not, gang.
2024, I feel like they will.
Seminole Headlines 93.3. Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment. Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Ethics rocks. Join us on December 6th for an unforgettable evening of music and fun in support of the Florida Ethics Institute at the first annual Ethics Rocks Benefit Concert at Goodwood Museum and Gardens.
The Ethics Rocks Benefit Concert is all about combining our love for music with our commitment to advancing ethics through education. So grab your friends, put on your dancing shoes, and come on down to enjoy some incredible live performances from the Nitro Groundshakers and our headliner, the Rockets.
All funds raised will be used to support FEI's educational mission. VIP and general admission tickets are on sale now at floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks. That's floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks.
Don't miss all the fun. It's the annual Ethics Rocks Benefit Concert, December 6th at the Goodwood Museum and Gardens, featuring some of Tallahassee's favorite local bands, the Nitro Groundshakers and the Rockets.
Get your tickets today at floridaethics.org/ethics-rocks.
The leaves are starting to fall. The temperatures will start to fall, and the prices are falling right now at Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas. Incredible dealer discounts up to $5,000 are available on all hot spring spas, the industry leader in hot tubs and spas. If you've never experienced the sensation and relaxation of having your own hot tub in your backyard on a cool evening, you're truly missing out. The cold months are coming, and now's the time to set yourself up for the best winter season you've ever had. Plus, you'll gain the added health benefits of reduced stress, relief of sore muscles, and better sleep. You'll feel so relaxed after a nice soak in your new hot spring spa. You'll experience some of the best sleep of your life. Head over to Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas on Greer Road and check out their huge showroom packed with the best selection of hot tubs and spas available. And ask about getting up to $5,000 in discount, low interest financing, and a free accessory to make your hot tub dreams come true. If you're ready to relax, Pinch A Penny Pools and Spas is ready to show you how.
A cup of Joe, Java, brew, go-go beans, brain water, liquid lightning, wakey juice, whatever you call your cup of coffee, you're missing out if it's not Grassroots Coffee. At grassrootscoffee.com, you'll find an easy way to order the best roasted coffee beans available. It's very simple. Choose the blend you want and how you want it ground, and the bag you receive will have the date your beans were roasted and packaged on it, all written by hand and signed by the roast master himself. You'll know that's as fresh as it gets. You can get Grassroots outside of your house also at some of your favorite restaurants in town. Next time you're out to eat, try asking for Grassroots Coffee by name, because there's a good chance they will have it for you. And if you own a business, Grassroots Coffee has options to stock your break rooms with all the productivity powder your team needs. Plus, like some other options that you'll find at work, Grassroots Coffee actually is a part of our community. Hit grassrootscoffee.com today and get yourself a treat. Some locally owned, locally roasted, and locally loved Grassroots Coffee.
Hello, I'm Jimmy Fasig.
And I'm Dana Brooks of Fasig Brooks Law Offices.
When you're in an accident, traffic cameras can be the best source of evidence to prove who's at fault.
That's why Fasig Brooks has partnered with RoadProof to have access to all their traffic camera footage.
With RoadProof, we can search our network of traffic cameras to find the evidence that could help you win your case.
Call us today to see if we can help find the proof to help you come back stronger.
Call us now at 850-777-7777.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Burke writes, and I think astutely, other than him probably being amazing, what do we know about Louisville's punter?
Man, it's unbelievable. By the way, Mastromanno is a Ray Guy finalist.
Yes. Yeah.
He's one of three.
There you go.
Pick the other two schools that you think their punter joins Mastromanno as one of the three finalists.
Are they both teams we faced?
Florida and Duke.
Nope. I think we've talked about them on Coach Speak.
Oh, the punter from Iowa?
Oh,
no,
Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's
and
punter.
Who else would have a really good punter?
Iowa.
Yeah. So it's Iowa, Vanderbilt, and Florida State.
Yeah. Well, there's no way that you could. I mean, how are you going to beat the Vanderbilt punter? He's the all-time
leading punter in
yardage.
just in
Iowa's
yardage.
punter alone this year has, salvaged.
I mean, he
number
must
of
have punted
6 to 3
100 times
wins.
this
Yeah.
game.
Crazy.
He's like their quarterback. their punters like their.
I mean, you think at Iowa, you must get the 5 stars every year coming to you to punt.
Oh, man, you can line them up. There's 7 of them.
I'm going to get 12 ABs a game.
Yeah, no
Ryan writes, gents, I've been following FSU football for the better part of the last 3 decades, and after Saturday, I can honestly say that FSU has surpassed UF in terms of prestige and national visibility. Am I delusional? We've built and rebuilt our program since they last won a national championship, 2008. We have hope for the future. They have many obstacles to turning things around, not the least of which is the insane 2024 schedule and the reality of having to compete against Georgia, Bama, LSU, and FSU. Please tell me if my garnet and gold glasses are clouding my vision.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they've surpassed them or had they surpassed them before this. I mean, they're pretty even, I think, in national prestige, the 2 programs. They both won 3 championships. They both have great fan bases. Look, I don't like to say that, but that was a 5-6 football team on Saturday night, and that place was packed
be there for Florida State.
And very loud. That's a good fan base. Sure. It really is. It's a great venue, great environment.
Florida State fans get credit for 20 to 25% probably of those tickets.
Well, no, and that's what the other thing I was going to say is the Florida State fans have been unbelievable this year. On the road, at home, it's been nuts. But yeah, I think they're still even. But I did when I was there on Saturday night looking at their signs. 2008, their last national championship. It was a long time ago.
Been a minute.
I mean, I know 13 wasn't yesterday, but Florida State is also 12-0 right now and challenging for a playoff spot. Like, they're back, quote unquote.
Florida State has now gone undefeated 3 separate times since they won a national championship. So 13,
right.
14, and this year.
I mean, because we always make fun of Miami. It's been 22 years. You have to watch their highlight tapes on a VHS.
Dust it off, baby.
2008. I was like pre-Netflix, right? You couldn't even have streaming services.
Maybe a little laser disc action.
Yeah, you laser disc, maybe Redbox.
Hey, Redbox. I think you're doing the Redbox.
Just like when they still have them at Circle K, Ira.
You remember
They're not going away.
You remember the moment that you were
We
staring
call that bait.
at your
Circle K.
Well done, buddy. Well done. That's a joke of the day. Did you remember the moment that you stared at your Blu-ray collection and went, it's obsolete?
They told me these things are going to last forever.
When we have our next garage sale, give some
I bought the special edition 3-box set of Heat.
Put it next to the.
What am I going to do with
Put
this?
it next to the Frampton Comes Alive album.
47 hours of extra cuts from Heat. I've heard everything Michael Mann has to say.
What do you mean they're going to put it all on the internet?
No. Eric writes, I've often wondered what exactly is the hiring process for ACC officials. Obviously, an eye test isn't required, nor understanding for the game of football. Personally, I feel like all that is required is, can you reach into your pocket and throw a flag?
Yeah.
You don't have to know why you threw it, nor do you have to provide a valid reason. You just have to throw it, preferably at the most inopportune time.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
So
shout out, though, for getting the spitting. And a sneaky big play in that game was the kid blocking one of the Florida State guys out of bounds on a punt.
Yeah.
That was they would have the ball at the 45, then they got the ball at the 30. That was a big play.
So what's weird is, and
the 2 crazy targets.
Speaking of comments that make their way on the internet or songs or reactions, my reaction to the boys in the post game to that official's call in that situation, dropped some F-bombs. We can't replay that on the show.
Right.
But
it's a very dicey, loosey-goosey.
It was a loosey-goosey post-game edition. This stems from what I described as the wussification of football, like where guys think it's okay to throw that flag.
I would have loved it if it was a targeting call, because then you can go review it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that's what I thought I saw when it happened at the time. He must have targeted him. And just
he didn't target him, but he
hit him too hard with the shoulder to the chest.
No,
it's
the whole thing is nuts.
Yeah.
And when you watch it, you just scream, make it make sense to me, please. And you could see the incredulous look on the other officials. The one that comes over to ask him, are you sure? Like, go watch him.
Yeah.
He's like, come on, man. What the? I mean, it's like
shifty-eyed.
It'd be like you and me. I mean, Corey, Jesus,
you can't say that
you
about
can't say that.
Ira.
You just
You can't say that about Ira.
Like if one of us said something at a restaurant because we had a little too much fun, and like, Jeff, Jesus, man, the guy's wife is right there. Like that kind of a thing. That ref had that look on. He's like, there are people watching. They're going to look at this.
Even Fowler's going to kill you in the booth right now.
They're going to look at this replay.
Going back to the spitting thing, though, I was listening to a UF podcast, and there was a legitimate conversation, like a legitimate actual discussion debate over the more ignominious moment in Florida history: the spitting or the shoe toss.
The shoe.
The shoe cost them the game.
The shoe cost them the game.
I think they settled on the shoe.
And they were having a good year that year. They were close to like making the playoff, I think. It was 2020, but they were close to making the playoff.
They were interviewing Scott Carter, and Scott Carter, who used to work here, said he actually had their record since the shoe toss. Like he's tracking it.
Oh, yeah.
The whole
it's
program.
It's
Really?
not good. I can tell you that.
It's like 14
yeah,
and
it's
21 or something.
Yeah.
How's Scott doing? I like Scott.
21 losses, right?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah,
22
he's not,
losses since then. Yeah.
Not loving the gig these days. But yeah, good guy.
We all had to live it. We had to live it
Well,
here.
5-7.
Yeah.
6-7 a year ago. Hey, but they got that field goal in at the last second.
Yeah, they kept that shutout streak alive.
Hello, Perfect Noles from Philip. Hello, Philip. Hope you're doing well, buddy. What were your thoughts on the prepubescent sounding interview Tebow gave? Well,
I didn't hear it, thankfully.
He describes it
I
aptly.
didn't hear it.
It's not good.
I wanted to ask you. I meant to bring it up, and I know we're running out of time. And me and Ira have talked about it a little bit. So the Brock Glenn comes in. I don't know if you've what?
Ira and I.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shut up.
And he rolls to his left and fires it off the hands of that defender. Yeah.
That's not the play that was called. He was supposed to hand it off.
Yeah.
He didn't.
No. He's going for the glory. That's a
I was
tough
telling
game.
Ira, I think 93% of me loves that. In that moment, he believes in himself and what he sees so much that he's willing to risk.
Okay. So
he's willing to risk an 11-0 season
It's
in
a
the swamp.
It's a love-hate thing.
With
It could
the
be a
2
little,
point
it could be Klubnickian.
with the 2-point
It is
lead,
Klubnickian.
trying to nurse. You're trying to run clock, and he decides, with this look, this is supposed to be a sprint out to the left
And I'm going to fire
to
this
fire an
puppy.
8-yard pass to Johnny Wilson with traffic. And if that ball gets deflected and intercepted, well, the game changes and you lost because. So I love the confidence, love it, and I think moving forward, the way that Atkins and Norvell talk about him.
Oh, they love
I
him
think
too,
they
but yeah.
love the fact that he has that kind of confidence, but
Yeah.
they were clearly not all that pleased with the
Oh.
decision in the moment because I was like, man,
I'd be
Brock Glenn,
incensed.
they called a pass for Brock
I mean,
Glenn.
we're sitting there like, okay, well, that's certainly something Florida wasn't expecting.
No.
You got that. You got the element of surprise.
I actually thought they might throw something very safe because Florida wouldn't
Yes,
expect it.
right.
But I didn't think that would be the play call. And I did question it at the time. I was kind of like, well, that's
Norvell. What are you
And
doing?
then he hits a D lineman.
And then
in the-
Norvell
on
would have
an
been like,
armpit.
Yeah.
would have been interesting because Dabo got tired of it and just was like, hey, he's supposed to hand it off.
Well, it was a straight give.
It was
is
a
what he
straight
said.
give.
Straight give.
I don't know why he decided to run to the 11
Yeah.
and in the game.
He
Don't
ran
get it.
sideways. He could have run in perpetuity.
Yeah, he'd still be running.
He'd still be running. He was never going to outrun the kid that was
Yeah.
running alongside him. Just looking
So,
at it.
but if it had ended up being a really big play, I think Norvell would have said, well, we like the look. We thought he had a chance. He has the ability to opt
man.
out because you wouldn't want to throw Brock Glenn under the bus. In that
It's a
moment.
toughie, though. That's not okay.
Probably.
It's not okay.
But do you like what it says about him?
I love the moxie.
The moxie, exactly.
Man, short of Jameis Winston level ability, I'm just not letting my guy do it.
Well, the
He's
reality
missed
is,
6 weeks.
well, and the reality was, Jameis probably was similar, but didn't get in on the field as a freshman.
Right.
You know, he
right,
didn't get out
yeah,
there as a
yeah.
redshirt freshman.
And also, he was preternaturally gifted.
Yeah,
I think
Brock's talented, man.
I think Brock's talented,
He's
but
talented.
we don't.
But I
think
mean,
he's
I
Jameis.
love that I think he's talented. He's going to be in a quarterback competition next year.
Yeah.
And I asked Norvell, like, what does that say about his self-belief? And he goes, oh, he does not have any problem in self-belief. And it's like, well, that's clear.
All right, really quick. I'm going to get one in here. Zach writes, do you guys think Tate plays better this week?
Yes.
It was a tough spot for him to be in this past week, and the Swamp should be the toughest environment he plays in, period.
Yeah.
Considering next year's away slate outside of Notre Dame isn't great. I imagine a more 50-50 crowd this weekend anyhow, so hopefully he'll play a little bit looser.
The way this season's going, it'll be mostly Florida State.
It could be
fans. These guys have
70-30.
been showing up and showing out.
Yeah.
Get there and be loud, gang.
Yeah, I think Tate's going to play better for sure. I think the assignment's different. I think it's going to be more of a normal offense. It's not going to be so bottled up.
I'm rooting for him. I like Tate Rodemaker. I
And
don't
he
know
did
if he
beat
will or
that
he won't,
team
but
last year. I know it's
Yeah.
different players, but he has some
different
success
players,
to draw
different
back
stakes.
on.
But yeah, I hope he does. I know he's capable of playing better than that. They need him to. They won't win if he plays like that.
And he ripped some balls. The
Yeah.
throw to
Oh,
Jaheim's great.
He's got a cannon.
Yes.
Nobody's ever
And
questioned
throw to
that.
Johnny's great.
And like, I don't know, 8 of his completions were like 3rd or 4th down passes.
Yeah, man, it was always 3rd and 11. He had like 4 to Johnny Wilson to convert 3rd downs.
By the
He
way,
did
the
really well.
Ja'Kai Douglas throw is pretty damn
Great.
important on 4th down.
Yeah.
And that's a tight window. I was like, good
to
catch,
a
Ja'Kai.
small, and he's got a
To
small
tiny,
window
yeah,
general.
yeah.
That's so he had some moments to build on, and you got to think just like what he did against Louisville, lifting him up and his confidence up last year. This year, going on the road and keeping an undefeated season alive in the Swamp when you're down 12-0, that's got to fill you with some confidence.
I hope so. I think, I suspect he'll play better. I wonder what's the race to?
I think it's closer to 30. I think it's 28-ish.
Yeah.
I think.
They'd be the first team to score that many points all year on Florida State. But yeah, Boston College had 29, but 7 was a fumble return.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see.
So yeah, I would see somewhere in the mid-20s probably.
Okay.
But yeah.
Over
Get to
under
30.
Over under is under 50. I was kind of surprised.
It's like 48,
by that. Yeah,
49.
Surprised by that. Yeah. Seminole Headlines 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment. 93.3 Real Talk Radio Warchant TV continues in a moment.
Your local news now.
4 people were taken to the hospital after more than 100 shots were fired into a home in South Georgia. Police say they responded to a home in Cascade Manor Drive in DeKalb County, Georgia, around 2:50 a.m. on Thursday. When they arrived, they found 4 victims in the home with various gunshot wounds. All 4 were taken to area hospitals, 2 of which were in critical condition. The victims range in age from 37 to 57 years old. 3 other people were inside the home, were not injured. The shooting remains under investigation. Leon County honored former County Commissioner Bruce Host at a ceremony Wednesday unveiling the newly named Bruce J. Host Northeast Branch Library. Host served on the Board of County Commissioners from 1992 to 2000. During his tenure, Host was involved in numerous projects, including the construction of the Northeast Branch Library and the widening of Thomasville Road. Host is also a veteran who served in Vietnam. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 local news update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at macklemoresystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. A freeze warning begins at 1 a.m. early tomorrow morning and continues until 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Highs around 58 this afternoon under mainly clear skies, north winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, lows around 31. Ample sunshine expected again tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 57. This report is brought to you by The Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 59.
Where's your pain? Is it in your knees, your hips, your back? Don't let it sideline you any longer. And don't let them tell you surgery is your only option. Call QC Kinetics now for the future of pain relief. Hey, everybody, it's Greg Tisch, and QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, restoring and repairing damaged joint tissue the natural way. This is the science of using properties from your own body to bring you lasting relief, no drugs, no downtime. QC Kinetics is trusted by patients all over America. They have over 150 clinics nationwide with advanced protocols that can get you moving again. Get started on how you can live big in 2024. Talk about a great use of your FSA and HSA. Put them to work getting you the relief you need so badly. These new advanced regenerative treatments are getting amazing reviews for people with arthritic pain or pain from an injury. Again, no drugs, no downtime, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation and let their medical professionals give you a better path towards that pain-free life. Their number is 850-391-4280.
Life is stressful. Dinner shouldn't be. That motto is why Register Sausage has been doing business in the Florida Panhandle and Lower Alabama for over 75 years. A proud sponsor of Seminole Headlines, Register Sausage always provides the best Southern smoked sausage to over 140 grocery stores and restaurants throughout the Southeast. Headliners have discovered the Register's difference. You can too. To find a store that carries Registers near you or to buy directly, head to registermeats.com. That's registermeats.com. Register Sausage. Yay, sausage!
Seminole Headlines returns now. Head to YouTube and search for Warchant TV today to catch the show live or on demand. Now, here's Jeff Cameron, Ira Schofel, and Corey Clark.
Keep it rolling, boys. Thomas writes, you guys are awesome, Jeff. I appreciated your FU to UF. Ira, I'm so glad you didn't choose a different occupation after the Jacksonville State game. Corey, best version of Seminole Wind ever.
Yeah, amen.
I'm pulling for Bama this weekend. If that were to happen and Oregon beats Washington, do you guys think they will put us at 2, Texas at 3, and Oregon at 4, so they get one more Big Ten Pac-12 Rose Bowl? I'd love to face Texas in New Orleans. I have a feeling Briggs gets 2+ sacks on Saturday night. FSU 34, dirty cards 17.
Oh, that's because Louisville's the team that knocked them out.
That's right. Fuller for governor.
Who is this?
Thomas.
Nice work, Thomas. There's a lot of stuff in there. A lot of it was on point. It was really
yeah.
I like that he's assuming a Nole win on Saturday because why wouldn't he? It's been 18 in a row.
Yeah,
you don't even remember what it feels like to lose.
I do. I remember.
So if Alabama beats Georgia and Florida State, I would think it would be Michigan, Florida State 1 and 2. I would think. Because Oregon, and then I don't know what they do after that. Because you got Oregon, Texas, Alabama.
It's Oregon and Texas. That's how that would go.
Wow. And look, man, would that not be awesome? The SEC in the last 14 playoff is just shut out.
Yeah.
And they probably have the best team in the country. And poor little SEC. You don't get to play for a title. I wonder if the world will keep spinning. Because next year they're going to have 6 of the 12 in the playoff.
That is a nightmare scenario for the SEC. They're on rocky ground if that happens. I mean, you would
bet
have
you
a
watch
hard
those
time.
SEC officials.
I mean,
I bet they take care of the dogs a little bit.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
What?
Borderline
they
call.
don't help out.
That's what I was going to say. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
They're smart.
Borderline call here.
Because, the argument could be made. Alabama.
Preston brings up if Alabama beats Georgia, there's a chance they'll both get in, which is something that
I don't know how you get them in
about.
over Texas.
Can't get in Alabama over Texas if Texas wins.
Then you can't put Georgia in over Alabama.
You're not going to jump an undefeated Florida State.
Yeah.
No.
So
no,
in
Oregon,
Oregon,
that's the way it goes. Sorry, it's an elimination game.
Yeah, sorry. Well, that's what's
That's
awesome
the way it
about this
works.
weekend is this is basically the Elite Eight. This is the quarterfinals.
This is it.
And Florida State's in it. If you win, you get to keep playing.
Yeah, look, man, if you lose a playoff game, you don't get to stay in the playoffs.
Right. I mean, this is a playoff game for Georgia, Alabama.
That's
Yep.
it. Just like it was for Michigan and Ohio State.
Now, if Florida State loses, then things change. But if
you have an argument between a bunch of one-loss teams, yes.
And Florida State is not in that argument.
They do not get to.
No, but yeah, man, I think that would be so sweet if the SEC is just gone.
Yeah, but
Just
it would come at the expense of your dogs.
I don't care. They won 2 in a row.
Yeah.
I think we can live with Georgia or Alabama not being in the playoffs.
Oh, I think we would. UF not only lost to FSU, they just lost one of their best recruiters in Corey Raymond. Any insight into how much of UF's highly ranked recruiting class is bound to jump ship now?
They didn't really lose them though, right? They let them go.
They let them go.
Yeah, it's different than
they
losing
fired
them. They fired them. So they must not have been that worried about it.
They had already lost a few recruits, commits, and then talking to some of the media that cover Florida and cover their recruiting, were saying Saturday night that they expected they were probably going to lose 2 or 3 more. So I don't know what the total number will be, but it's not going great.
Logan wants to know, do we have any concerns that it looks like Keon has checked out a little bit since Jordan's injury? Really wild to see him drop that pass and also stop running.
So the TV, I guess, caught him stopping running.
Yeah, he stopped running,
So that's all I heard about.
Oh,
I must have
really?
got 10 texts from people.
Good.
Keon Coleman's dogging it. Why would it?
He did stop running. It was unfortunate.
But and I don't know what play it was because I don't see the replay.
It's on
where
that
we're
deep
at.
post where he just stops.
But it's also like, I know for a fact, we all know this, there are times when you see coverages that receivers think it's not coming to them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's right.
No.
But I'm also not the one running 50 yards 45 times in a game.
Yeah.
So there are players do it, and great players have done it.
Sure, it's not unheard of. It does suck.
But
it's always the wrong thing to do.
But it's the perception is that, like, he doesn't care anymore.
Oh, I doubt
that.
I doubt that. I think he cares. He just didn't play well.
No, yeah. And again, he's not, that pass isn't perfect, but that's a catch that Keon Coleman makes all the time.
Yeah, the pass is high. He still should have caught it.
All the time.
And where he stops running, that pass isn't bad either. He kind of
I thought maybe Rodemaker would lead him more towards the sideline and not straight over him. But yes, Keon stopped running as if, well, I know the ball's not coming to me.
Yeah, and then he realized it and kind of panicked.
Yeah.
And you're kind of like,
if he was dogging it, he wouldn't have even run after it. He wouldn't have sped up. He'd have been like, whatever. Let me get back to the sideline.
But, going back to, and I think I said this on the postgame show with Tom and Gene, that, he did the same thing he did after they beat LSU. He did like the cartwheel backflip thing on the field. He's still part of this.
Oh,
there's a perception that maybe he's like checking out, and I don't think that's true.
No, I don't think he's checking out. I think
huge punt return.
Yeah, the punt return was massive. He just didn't play real well other than that punt return. But hey, guys have bad games. So no, I don't think he's checked out. Chad writes, good morning, gents. Did Coach Norvell ever explain his thought process to kick the extra point to go up by 2 instead of going for 2, which would have given us a 3-point lead? I thought about that too.
Well, so let's say you don't get it, which the way they are in short yardage, you're probably not going to get it.
Right.
Well, it's 13-12. Then or what would it have been? Yeah. Either way, that touchdown that Benson scores doesn't make it a 2-score game though. You go up by 2, but it's so early in the half.
I think it was more about when it was. I still would have
10 minutes to go in the third quarter.
I think I still would have gone for 2.
Yeah, I think to me personally,
it would have put you up 15-12
or 13-12. And again, those 1 points can matter, and they would have mattered in this instance. But I just think at that moment, I'm like, yeah, that won't be the last time you score.
Yeah, it did feel early.
It felt a little early for me to do that. So, but I get the questioning.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It would have been interesting to hear.
Yeah, and I think later in the fourth quarter, he absolutely does it. It's somewhere in the fourth quarter.
Well, if he better at that point.
Yes, it would make no sense not to.
Yeah. What was the best play in the FSU Florida game? Writes Gator Kirk. The best play?
Best play in the whole game? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. What's the best play? I think it's It's duo at the end.
I think it's Verse.
Oh, it's Verse picking up the lineman,
pushing the lineman into the quarterback.
The run by Benson at the end into the end zone backwards after that jump cut. It's one of the best jump cuts I've ever seen.
I like the Brock Glenn sprint out to the left. that thing's open. Man, there were a lot. The defense played exceptionally well in the second half, albeit against a green quarterback, or a brown quarterback.
Max Brown?
As in his name, Corey. Make sure to clarify.
Okay, thanks, gang.
Yes.
But the Akeem Dent had a couple of them.
Played great.
That sack was incredible.
Braden Fisk took over for a quarter and a half in the first half. He was incredible. Hey,
Patrick Payton had 2 huge sacks.
I like this, guys. This is totally derailed, but it's awesome. Kristen writes, "What's the maddest each of your kids have ever made you?"
Oh my God!
We can
I'm
all
not getting into that.
I know mine off the top of my head.
Oh, do you?
Alexa.
Oh well,
this is going to be like she got a B.
No, my beautiful daughter Alexa, who I love dearly.
Yeah, we love all our kids. It's okay.
She was playing with beads, and I was playing with her. I was laying down on the ground. She was probably 3 years old.
Oh, I know this story. It's awesome. Yes.
And all of a sudden, I feel something in my ear. I'm like, what's she doing in my ear? She stuck a bead in my ear.
Oh, that would make me very mad.
And I can't get it out. Like 3. And she thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
And now I can't get it out. And I'm freaking out because I'm like, what's going to happen with a bead in my ear? What do I do?
Canal, surgery.
So Kim's like, vacuum cleaner? Like, oh, no, you're not putting a vacuum cleaner.
Your whole ear might go in there.
She's like, well, let me try tweezers. I'm like, no, you're just going to stick it further down. It was,
I don't like this.
I was so mad.
I don't like it.
Kim ended up like digging it out with like a tweezer or something.
Like a Q-tip.
But man, it was the worst. I mean that.
Oh,
you still lived a pretty charmed life.
Let
me tell you what Brady's done, gang. No chance.
No.
That's not.
I'm interrupting. I already know where you're going to go on one of these.
There's dozens to choose from.
Maddest I've ever been.
Like it would be awesome if there was one that just shot to the top immediately, but they're all hovering in making me incredibly mad.
This was the first and last time anything like this ever happened because there was an example to be set. Bryce, when he was young, he's very confident, first of all, and also assertive. And he was, I think.
Does he get that from Christy?
He's a Brock Glenn of the Cameron boys.
Yeah,
I think he's like 5 or 6 at the time. And he had asked his mother for more of this apple juice that he wanted, and she wasn't getting it in a timely fashion. And he kind of was like asked again, and she didn't hear him. And I could tell, I'm watching this in slow motion. I can see where this is going. And I'm like, this is getting ugly. And I'm about to tell him to settle down, like, calm down. I'll get you the apple juice. And he takes the cup and he fires it off the fridge.
Wow. A glass or plastic
cup?
Well, still.
He fires it off the fridge.
The same.
And I couldn't believe what I had just seen. It was like slow motion.
Did he hit the target? How's the hand talent?
He crushed the hand talent. Cup goes everywhere. Wasn't completely empty. Apple juice goes everywhere. I'm like,
that just happened. This just happened.
So I snatched him up and the whole thing. But yeah, it was.
Did you throw him against the fridge?
I did not. But he got picked up by one arm, and I marched him down the hall to have a conversation away from his mother. And so there was a.
It's like that Chris Rock bit. You never hit your kid. But you'll shake the crap out of him. I'll shake the crap out of him. Yeah, that's literally.
Your turn,
I can't even think of Brady.
Corey.
No, I can't. They're too recent, and he's like too much. He's too close to being an adult.
Cute young Brady.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even get that far. I can't get past 15-year-old Brady to get down to when he was 7.
Now I'm mad on a daily basis.
I mean, he ran into traffic one time. Does that count?
Oh yeah, when they're little like that, that scares you more than angry. No, but I'm angry every day at Clark currently. He's 13. 13 sucks.
Yeah.
Worst age in the world.
Yeah.
A 13-year-old to do something to piss you off every single day.
Yep. If you just interact with them.
We came across a picture over the weekend of Molly when she was that age. We were, you know what? They were up in Atlanta. And they were hanging out with the Vasquez's and they took a walk up. The Vasquez is like, oh, let's climb Stone Mountain.
Yeah.
So that's what they did. And Molly, they took a picture at the top. And Molly's got this 13-year-old teenager look on her face.
Yeah, it's the worst.
And I kept laughing and showing it to her. I was like, this was you for 2 years.
Yeah.
This is all we saw.
By the look on your face, you could tell we wanted to smack you every day. We love you, but it was tough. It was tough not to.
They'll learn eventually.
They'll see someday. For Ira and Corey, I'm Jeff.
We did it, gang.
Good job, Director Matthew, as always. Thanks to all of you. Be good. Peace.